pretty much RFL at Night edition.
Yo, what's going on, Relocation Football League fans? Sorry for the massive delay. It was some crazy technical difficulties going on my PC side. As always, it seems, man, in major moments. But we are back. Forget the intro. We're already late. What is this, 50 minutes? So, yeah, that's over. So forget the intro, man. We're just going to get straight to it, man. As always, got my man Bill and Rob here with me. First thing we're going to go through is just pretty much just going through the recap and just our thoughts in general on the college series this year. But let's first talk about the national championship game between Georgia and Alabama and how that all unfolded. Everyone pretty much felt like Georgia was going to be that team that went undefeated and finished it all. No team was going to beat them. And that's exactly what they were able to do in the national championship by a pretty good margin, by 18 points over Alabama, who was still a solid team this year. But Georgia gets it done, man, 41-23. What's your guys' thoughts on that game? And also your thoughts on the college series this season in general?
First, I think I just wanted to say, like, I thought that Alabama was gonna have a little bit more of a better game against them. At the beginning, it looked like it was just gonna be a shootout, but man, Georgia just, I don't know, man. They proved why they went undefeated this year. They turned things around and they poured it on, and this Alabama just could not keep up, and it shows why they're undefeated. And Jermaine Taylor was an absolute beast for them. Man, it's just a great showing for Georgia, an excellent win. They deserved it. Hard fought game for Alabama, but they just couldn't get it done. And Rob, if you want to go ahead and talk about the game first, and we'll double back for the college series or something.
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah, I didn't have much. I actually didn't even see the stats folder, so I wasn't able to break down all that, guys. But I will just go off the top with my analysis of this game, man. Georgia just had that game in the bag, and I think that we knew that was gonna come. I felt that Bama, tried their best to hang around. They did a lot better than a lot of teams. I think they actually went down the first drive and put up 7 points or whatever it was, and they did a lot better than a lot of teams earlier on. But it's just that strangling death grip of Georgia, man. It's really tough to beat. And I remember talking about this, with you, Smitty, and you as well, Bill, earlier, is that Georgia could just beat you in so many different ways, man. That's what makes that team just so phenomenal, is that, if the quarterback is off, the halfback is going. If the halfback is off, the wide receivers are going. If the offense is not stalling and the defense is still keeping the offense in the game, and that's what you saw, man. You just saw pure domination, obviously by the defense and led by Jermaine Taylor, the biggest dog of them all. And it was just a really just easy kind of win, man, I thought, for Georgia, man. And when I say the word easy, I'm not, bagging on McCall or anybody like that, man. But I mean, this team has just pretty much just shown that they can roll over opponents at will. And even when you think you've got the game, you really don't got the game, man. And so it was just phenomenal game from both teams, man. But Georgia just did exactly what we thought. They are who we thought they were.
Denny Green. We let him off the hook.
Right.
Yeah, I guess what I'll do is I'll let y'all go through with the your thoughts on the college series in general, your final thoughts on it, and then I'll give my two just straight out to end this segment.
Man, this was just a great series, really great series. This year really showed the potential of what our college series are going to look like in the future, because we just had such a great turnout, man, such a great turnout, and the chats were live, the games were live, the games were very entertaining for the most part, and it adds such a dimension, and being able to see it come through with almost a full class. We didn't really get the full experience last year. Like, I'm not just trying to discount any of the guys from last year, because we had a heck of a crew come into the league, but this year it was like, no matter what game you were watching, there was a couple of dudes you had to keep an eye on if you're a coach or just a fan of the league in general, because you knew these guys were coming over. And just to see it, in full form, basically, it was just awesome to see, man. I can't wait for another one next year, and I'm just glad that this is a part of the RFL now.
Yeah, when I called the games last year, I really didn't think anything was gonna top that. I couldn't believe. I was like, nothing's gonna top this, man. That was just so awesome. I know a lot of guys don't really like the college series, man. And I don't understand why. I mean, maybe it's just an RFL thing. The guys just want to see their own player and everything, and only care about the pro series. But man, just watching what made this so phenomenal was all of these rookies who were dedicated to their player, and the community, and they came and they watched all the games, man. They watched each other's games, and they kept the Discord going during this downtime when everybody who's in the RFL was pretty much just dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coach, and these guys kept the torch going, man, for all this time, bro. And like we don't get breaks. You know what I mean? We have to put out content, so it's like that was such an emotional hug from this college series here. I love these guys forever, man. You can't say anything bad about these guys here, man, in this series here. So I really just enjoyed, just communicating with these guys, a lot of these rookies and stuff. And at the same time, man, there was just so many great moments, in this college series that, and you can't. I'm sorry, man. You can watch as many Marshall highlights as you want. You're not gonna get the full experience if you don't watch the games, man. And so I, while I know some guys think they know a lot about these guys, man, you don't really know a lot about these guys if you didn't watch the games, man. You know what I mean? I'm just going ahead and saying it. This is like really, really awesome. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm putting it out there. I actually been trying to get with you, Smitty, man, and saying, man, we need to go ahead and do away with ratings-based scouting in the info and only have it based off of watching the college series, man. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's such a big deal, man, to these players and to the league, with them actually participating and seeing their players, like seeing what they actually did, on screen week in and week out, man. And I think that, we should hold coaches, man, general managers, scouts, whatever you want to call them, right? We should hold them accountable for actually watching the series, man. You know what I mean? And I would love if we could get away from scouting. And
I'm not even gonna lie, man. That's something I've been thinking about, and man, I would love for that to be the case.
Yes.
I think that should be
how
the
else
case.
can you really separate good coaches from bad coaches and make this as real as possible if you take away? Yeah, because come on, I mean, you can tinker with everything you want, Smitty, but at the end of the day, I can go and get a draft class, I can scout, and I can find some gems. You know,
Right.
I mean, we all know that Jacob Reed, who's in the chat, he can find 70s anywhere. I see you out there, Reed. But you know what I'm saying?
Fired.
Like, I think I had to, man. But I think that would be awesome, man. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like that. We might end up doing that, man. I think that's what's going to take this series to the next level and force coaches to have to do. Because I'm gonna be honest. There's a handful of coaches, of course, including you guys, because you guys, of course, were majority in this. But there's a handful of coaches, man, that did not come to any games or watch anything, and that concerns me on, really their level of commitment, how much they're really into this. We got a couple of new guys and everything, but I really feel like that definitely puts the pressure on the coach to know and to really know what's going on in the RFL instead of being handed statistics and things like that. Another great thing about it is with everything just working out in his favor, for that being as realistic as you guys are saying, would be like that it would help me out for one, not having to rush to get these guys done, man. Because I'm telling you right now, building these dudes are taking a colossal time. And to be honest, I think that's something we can talk about, man. I think that should be front office decision. I feel like most coaches that weren't in the front office or the main guys who participated would, of course, agree that we should have it in the file. But I honestly feel like we shouldn't because of that and for that realism, that extra realism. Another thing is, it's not like I can't post the 40 times when I'm done everything else. I can post. I can literally post, what they did in their combine, and from there, based off of how you guys, what you guys watch, what you saw at the player, I think that is as real as it can get, man. Beyond Madden.
Honestly, I think that we should just make that happen, for the next draft, and just be done with it. Yeah. Honestly, we're not even that far in the process. I know you're not that far in the process because it's just such a lot of work to do. Plus, we're trying to get the RFL up and running. We could just call it quits right now, and like you said, when it comes time, just drop the actual combine numbers, and that's all we got to go off of. You better go back and watch the tape.
You know what, man? The executive decision might have been made already right here live.
There it
Because
is,
I
man.
honestly feel like that's a great
And
idea.
that's why you come to the podcast on a random Wednesday, because you never know when you're about to hear about the RFL changing forever.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. That's dope. So
that is awesome.
That is dope. So we're gonna do that, man. So coaches, no scouting. No scouting this year, man. Y'all just gonna have to watch film. You're gonna have to wait for them combine numbers towards, the end when it's close to draft time and everything else. That'll give me time to actually make sure that I create these players as accurate and transfer over as much as possible. And I think that just takes the whole scouting to a whole nother level that Madden just can't do.
It does.
So
because now even dudes who know how to draft can still get busts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is I love this idea. Even if it means I get a bust once in a while, I love it. This is how football should be.
Yeah.
That's totally how I feel, man.
And that is real football, though.
Up, Rob.
Yeah, good job, Rob. Good job with that.
Yeah, no
man.
problem, Dalvin. Yeah, I was just sitting back watching, just looking at the league, man, and looking at like the guys who were like here and stuff, man, and like I was like, man, like bro, it's like totally unfair that people are gonna come in here and scout and didn't even watch a single game. You know what I mean? And and then another thing too is just it's kind of. And I'm not trying to rag on guys, man. Guys have their issues. We understand why you're not here, some guys, but it's kind of disrespectful, man. You know what I'm saying? To like the RFL culture, to like, everybody came from being a rookie, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And it's disrespectful not to like show support, you know what I'm saying? To the streams and stuff, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like just only pop up when it's when it's game time, like my boys say, only pop up on the RFL time, pro game, like, well, what about the
there
rookies,
is dollars?
Like, it's disrespectful, man, and I know Darius is one of the huge supporters of us, man, and so, I'm glad you guys like that idea. I'm glad
that's a great idea. That's a gem idea, man. Like, I mean,
That's
it's
a great
even, to
idea,
be
yeah.
honest, man, like that was something I was thinking of, but I was just like, I don't think the coaches will really be in.
Yo, this is the craziest part, man, because I know Rob mentioned this to me once, like, what was it, like a month or two ago.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, I swear to God, Smitty's never going to go for this.
I was all for it, man. I wish y'all brought it to me earlier. We could have probably did that last year.
No, this wasn't that long ago. This was just a couple months. I think a month ago he just mentioned it, like, you know what, man, we should just do away with scouting. And I'm like, dude, that would definitely separate some stuff, but I don't know how that's going to fly. And, hey, look at that. I was wrong.
Yeah, and then I think, like, come draft day, when I do get to import the players in, I think that maybe they forgot about quite a few guys, but at the same time, like when that drops, they'll be able to see who was there, and if they got the film, they can probably check the film. So I can probably drop when we get to draft day, I can drop the class in at the very last moment to put it in, and give some time for coaches to do extra scouting leading up to the draft before we start it. So like they'll be able to go back and see the film, because now they'll have the list of the guys who was in the series, and then they can do more that way.
And this is something else that really adds another dimension, because all these prospects right now that have been putting out these highlight tapes, they're actually going to get a lot more burn probably now, because you can't just limp your way through the college series as a prospect, not put out any content, and then have somebody scout you and find out that you're a decent pick, and now all of a sudden you're in a top 5 discussion. Even though this guy might suck, if he puts together a great tape, he's gonna find coaches looking at him. You know, and more incentive for the rookies to put something out.
The other thing too, man, I gotta say this, man, and I know you guys feel my sentiment as well. What Mitch and Stephen Forbes did for us this year, man, also was a huge, man, with keeping the stats.
Huge.
Because the stats, if you just even followed the stats week to week, you could really see who was hot, who was cold, who was coming up, who did what, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, even that right there is such a vital key source that you don't even need the foul. You don't need the points, you know what I mean, to find out, because just looking at the stat sheets and looking at the schedule and watching the games, who was killer and who wasn't killing.
And another thing, even with that, is like you can literally, like you were saying, when you analyze the stats as a guy you probably like, you're trying to figure out who did what. You can look from a game-to-game basis to see what type of consistency that player had, and then you can get an idea of, okay, I think maybe Smitty as this guy is, and then I'm looking
Right.
at his stats. Okay, yeah. But I'll tell you one thing: I am going to definitely talk a lot less, unless it's the game, because I honestly feel like I shouldn't be giving out who's my top guy this year or nothing like that, unless it's like a given. You know,
Well,
like
all that stuff is good too, though, because even like the podcast, like obviously our podcast, when we talk about guys and stuff, and we talk about what guys are doing and stuff like that, like coaches need to be actually listening to podcasts too. You know what I'm saying? To figure out what are people saying about this guy in the country. You know what I'm saying? What are people saying? You know what I mean? Because that's like real life. You know what I mean? So like while you may not be too revealing, me and Bill could be blabbing off at the mouth, and then we got guys who are writing articles and stuff, man. So like there's a lot of stuff we could do, man. What happens? Something happened.
My phone just
Uh-oh.
I got it on mute, but
Okay.
I don't know why that. I guess it's. I hope she don't call me back.
But, oh yeah. but no, but yeah, you still could give out Easter eggs, from time to time, what I'm saying, or whatever, without being too revealing. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah.
Okay, I got it on silent mode. Don't need to worry, guys. That was probably pretty loud. But
He said, "Oh no, she's
This
calling."
question real quick, because I know it's not question time, but he's asked a couple times, and I'm sure he wants to hear it from somebody who's talking on here. Isaiah Resendiz, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. The RFL season, pro season, is going to be on Madden 21. That starts this Thursday. Also, I don't know what we're going to be doing with Twitch. That's something we sort of got to talk about a little bit. But
with Twitch,
as of right now, it's all YouTube.
Yeah, it's
still
pretty
work
much
Twitch, but
all
I'm only
YouTube. Would
over
love to work Twitch, but at the same time, I feel like that's something next year we should probably build with the college series to build up to get it big enough so that we can put the RFL over there. I feel like our big fan base is RFL fans ready to watch the stuff on YouTube. What we should have did this year was actually split that up in college to build that up to eventually be able to get it on a level between both platforms. We'll do that next year. I think that's something we should definitely do. But
The only thing I don't like about the Twitch now that I noticed, Smitty, is like when I'm calling games over there, like I feel like it's not as interactive.
Yeah, and that's going to happen because it's but that's why I said college series. I feel like we need to build that up instead of doing that in the RFL, because we don't want guys divvying from the RFL. We don't want guys divvying, period. But the college series, I think that when they have an incentive to go there to watch because there are players involved, that they're more likely to go there and watch that than they would be on in the RFL going that direction, because you know what I'm saying. So I really feel like that's the best move to make, is to build it up through the college series, and have games on there, but on both, but don't do that with the RFL until it's on that level. I want to give a shout out to also Nishan too for the $20 donation, man. Big shout out to you, man. I remember to make sure to give you a shout out on that because I know you dropped that a little while ago, but man, yeah, that's what I think we need to do. I think we need to build up the Twitch through the college series, because I think we have over 600 followers over there, man. And we barely streamed. Yeah, so
We didn't do anything.
yeah, so if we get back to doing that, I'm pretty sure that following will build up just like it is over
Am I
here.
calling games this year on Twitch?
No, for RFL, no. RFL is going to be straight YouTube. Yeah,
I
and
just wish there was a way to upload to Twitch without having to stream.
Yeah, I saw that thing.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a way around that thing, but obviously you can't have
Yeah.
the same content.
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah, which
But, I mean,
makes
it is
sense,
what it
but
is.
it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I know you guys seen these pictures about 100 times pass over, but they were some dope pictures, man. I didn't even give my assessment even on this, but I think you guys already got it. We're already late, so
Yeah, I was sitting here. I was like, man, he got some great pictures. Oh, but he's not gonna tell you he had the PC on for 72 hours.
Got a PC on for 2 days, man. Was
wonder
so
the audio
tired.
was chopped.
It's never
Didn't even
happened.
take the picture,
Right.
man. Shout out to
Hey,
Trojan Boy
Trojan Boy.
247 for the $20 donation as well, my guy. Big shout out to the RFL community, man. I appreciate you
Salute.
donators, man. It really helps us out with
Bananas
promotion.
family says you can air a recorded game onto Twitch.
I don't know about, but
Oh,
Twitch
I
for
don't-
one
I
doesn't
don't wanna
even last.
pre-record,
Yeah, who
Yeah, it don't even
pre-records
last.
on Twitch? Like that's just
Well,
that's
I
not
don't
the
know.
wave.
Maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
We'll build. I think we should just build it up through the college series, man. That's the best way to go about it, man.
Yeah.
So okay, so so we covered everything with the college. I love the idea that we're going to go with from now on. We should definitely do that, and that's what we're going to do starting from here on out. the next topic. Let's go on to look at the preseason schedule in the RFL that's coming up, man. It's RFL season. I forgot to put the trailer on, but you guys probably already seen it about 100 times already, man. That new trailer that was dropped by C. Beazle. Fire. Probably couldn't have played it anyway since it was demonetized. Yeah, so I guess that was a good idea.
One of our videos. Don't do 2 of them.
Yeah, and so what you see right here, and I definitely got to put this out here, you could have had an extra game come game, in the RFL. But I had to suspend newly acquired coach Chris Dunn because he accidentally finished out a game, an RFL game. This is a high offense in the RFL, and he is lucky. I'm telling you, very lucky that this was not in the regular season. I would have definitely had to let him go. So, man, he's suspended though.
He put the blast out there.
Yeah, I had to, man, because this is just, new team. We can't be having games go to waste like that. If anybody else already put the news out there, anybody else does this, it's a wrap. So,
hit the bell, man. Hit the bell.
Let's go and hit the bell for Coach Dunn, man. That's just, I don't know how that happened.
Perkins now.
So now we're not going to be able to see the Black Knights and the Miners. I know you guys are looking at the score like 59-21. Well, you can't really even go off of that due to the fact that I don't think even Coach Carter had his his roster even set all the way right, or his gameplay or anything he wanted to do here in this game, and it turned out like this. So I'm not even going to show you guys the stats because none of that stuff's going to count anyway. We're not going to glorify the game. And so, yeah, that's a missing game for week 1, unfortunately. That was actually
don't glorify Baker's 167 play. No, he's not grinding, my guy. I gotta throw it out there. No, he's not grinding. He's simming.
There's
he's
Baker.
not watching 167 games. Trust me.
Shots.
I watched 35 straight games though. I did that.
All right, so
Come on.
This was supposed to even be the first game of the season, wasn't it?
It was the second game. It was the game that Rob was supposed to call to open up tomorrow night.
Crazy, man.
Nuts.
Can't even see.
So I'm not calling. Not even gonna see it.
I'm gonna have to bail Coach Dunn again. It's terrible. But
shout out to Cam Perkins for the $9.99 donation.
Oh yeah, shout out to Cam, man. Shout out to all the donators, man. Shout out to the RFL community. The RFL season is tomorrow, man. We're looking at the ARC though right now. And, okay, so the next game, these are not in order, but this is just so you guys know what game's coming up. Bill, can you rattle off, the games?
I was just going to say, I'm going to go to
I'll go through all the games, and then you can, after I do that, you can say, when they're going to be played. I guess for the ARC. I'm going to go, I don't want to keep flip-flopping between both conferences, so I'll just, whatever,
that's fine.
Yeah, okay,
All right, so let's go here. Okay, I'm good to go.
All right, so the Bisons and the Aviators are going to be playing in week 1 of the RFL season.
Yes, and that goes down in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, this is the first game right here, huh?
First game.
Marquise Washington. Marquise Washington going up against, hey, man, I'm going to be honest. There's no coach for the Bisons. My man Devin Hobart's been looking good. It's a QB battle right now for the Bisons between Joseph Torres and him. He's got to earn it. He's definitely got to earn it. And my man got the higher overall. Whoever gives the team the best chance to play, that's who I'm playing. And
you already called it. Rena's in chat.
This is going to be huge. And then Coach Bach has been out here tripping, man. So we're going to see. I'm not even going to put that on blast, but we'll see how that all turns out. I'm pretty sure, of course, Marquise Washington will be, the guy that ends up, taking over eventually. But Coach Bach Back is actually saying, Marquise Washington, he's not a shoo-in for the starting quarterback for the Aviators, man. Big shock to many of us, but, if he feels that way, we'll see how that all turns out. We're going to have to see how that preseason game goes. But
give a guy a fancy new logo, and all of a sudden he's just going all crazy on us.
And, okay, so the next ARC game that we got in week 1 of the preseason, we got the Austin Armadillos taking on the Salt Lake City Pioneers. So that's one, and that's it for week 1. So
that is happening on Sunday, the first aired game at 6 p.m.
All right, so you guys got it there. I guess we'll do that for each game then. All right, week 2. What we got going on week 2 of the preseason in the ARC? Pioneers and Aviators going at it, man. This was the only game the Aviators won last season, but that was in the regular season. Hopefully things change around with Coach Back here. But Aviators home taking on Pioneers. Guys getting 2 quarters that game. When I think we should just go through the list from here on out, since we just named what's coming up this week. You know what I'm saying, Bill?
Not go through preseason, not go through the weeks.
I feel like if we say the time now and when that's going to be, and we're going to drop stuff.
I wasn't going to say nothing about week 2.
Okay, yeah. So from week 2 here on out, I'm just going to show you guys what the games are. Bill's not going to let you know what.
And we'll have a graphic ready this time next week.
Yeah, we'll have stuff for that. So don't worry about it. But the Aviators and Pioneers going to be playing in week 2. Got the Red Dragons and Bulldogs going at it week 2 of the preseason.
Woo.
You got the Huskies, Voyagers going at it week 2 of the preseason.
Love it.
Look at Cougars. There you go, Rob. Cougars, River Hogs going at it.
Body bag.
What else we got going on here?
And they got rid of Vic Cage. Game over.
Sentinels and Bisons going at it. Just had a fire logo. We're going to be looking at the logos we dropped, man. Going over that, too, of course. But, yeah, that's your week 2. I don't even think the Miners even got themselves a game for the rest, so that sucks. That they're not even going to have a preseason game.
That's
to see what happened. Another bell there for Coach Dunn.
Gotta wait to see the new team until the regular season now.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. But let's go ahead.
Oh, hey, real quick, Smitty. Markel would like to know how you mispronounce back.
I was thinking of Bach, like Coach Bacigalupi. You know, that's why it caught me, man. Because I think I was calling Coach Bacigalupi when he told me to say BAC for short. I was thinking back too, but he was like, nah, it's Bach. So, yeah, that threw me off.
CP said, where the Thunderbirds at?
Oh, yeah, they ain't got no preseason games like that yet here. Oh, yeah, wrong conference, too. Yeah, I'm tripping. Y'all tripping. Okay.
He learning.
Yeah, so we got for week 3, Cougars, again, Bulldogs. So Coach Reed and Coach Roby going at it right there.
Oh, boy.
We got Bisons and Huskies going at it in week 3. Celtic Tigers and Dreadnoughts. There we go. First look at Dre and Justin. Get a look at Justin, man. He's always been pretty good in the preseason. We got Bulls and the Riverhogs, the last game for the ARC2. And then for the 4th, we have... Let's see, we got Bulls and Celtic Tigers. Huskies, Armadillos. You guys can always go back and watch this, so I'm going to just kind of get through this so we can get by. Voyagers and Bisons. And that might be it. Oh, Black Knights. There we go. Coach Carter finally at least being able to play a game here with the Red Dragons.
Finally.
Yeah, it was last game of the preseason right there. We're just going to go through the preseason here. We're not going to go through the entire season, man. So you guys, we'll have graphics and stuff to show up for the regular season, man. So that's where we're just going to leave that off at. I think so we don't have to keep flip-flopping conferences for this. The other segment I was going to have after we read off the schedules was our early predictions on who we think is going to finish in what place in their divisions. So let's go ahead and do that here, starting in the ARC North with your division, Rob. So I want to know, and you can be biased here, who you guys got finishing in what order this year in the ARC North.
You want to go first, Rob?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Well, I think I'm probably going to, at least I know number 1 is going to be the same with me and Rob. I'm going to go Cougars, okay? I just, like, you can say I'm putting pressure on you. I don't care, man. Like, after last year, and now you got Gino, bro. I got to put Cougars at the top.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. All the pressure. You got all the chips now.
Smoke.
Actually, you got no chips. Negative chips right now. Negative chips.
Smoke.
Boy, oh boy.
And after the Cougars, man, this is a toss-up for me. I want to say the Huskies, but the Bulls have been really impressive in the regular season the last 2 years. Can't say the same for the postseason, but they know how to win in the regular season. But I'm still going to go the Huskies. I think the Huskies just had a down year last year. I'm going to go Huskies number 2, Bulls number 3, and I'm sorry, Coach back, but the Aviators are number 4. They're just a big powerhouse of a division. I can't put the Aviators over these other teams yet.
Yeah, man. You know I'm never gonna put anybody over my team, man. So obviously,
only time bias is accepted.
Yeah, exactly. I feel I'm the king in the North. I'm not saying king in the ARC, but I'm king in the North, man. So they gotta prove to me otherwise that I'm not the best in that division. I think that Up Under Me, man, is a toss up though, man. I can't really tell right now. I really like what'd you say? What happened, Bill? What happened, man?
Yo, this is Isaiah dude in here. Never mind. Just keep going. Never mind.
Isaiah resends. Yeah. Go ahead, man. Anyway,
So Cougars in the basement.
It's all good. I like that.
He's gotta be new.
I'm gonna resend you that message when we pick both of themselves this season. Anyway, so yeah, man, I got Cougars at the top, man. I have a toss up, man, between the Huskies and the Bulls for second, because I feel that the Bulls are a great team, man. They're just a well-rounded team, and they didn't lose anything. I don't think they lost anything, Smitty. I think that
they just
killed
got
last
older
year.
a little bit. That's it.
Yeah, they killed last year, and I think they're bound to kill again. The Huskies, on the other hand, the O-line, man, still bothers me. They do have the new weapon with Streets, but they lost. I feel like they kind of lost a step in the linebacker core. Just kind of lost a step. Like they had a bunch of guys, and I think that those guys were heavy, man, in the zones and stuff. But they kind of lost. What was it? 2 guys they lost? 2 linebackers? I
think it was only one.
He dropped one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, okay.
Riley
how's
Bach,
that
because
gonna
he went
go?
to the Bisons.
Yeah. So I'm, and then another thing too is the other big deal is this Brady guy, Hudson, man. Kind of aging, man. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Will they be able to get Leonidas going? I don't know. That's remains to be seen. But I will say this is the positive about them. Their wide receiver core, I feel, is probably the best wide receiver core in the league. And they just got a really, really brilliant coach, man. Shout out to Coach Mackay. I'm calling him brilliant because of the things I'm seeing out of him so far, man. With he's doing spreadsheets and stuff. He's already got a podcast he's developing and everything. Not trying to blow all his stuff up. But he's really doing a good job, man. And I've seen some graphic work he's been doing. And so I'm just giving him kind of a little bit of, a little bit of clout right there, man. I'm seeing stuff out of him. That's nothing to say against my boy Coach Back out there, the Aviator head coach, man. He's been here for the long run. He's a huge supporter of the community. I'm really happy to have him in the division, man. We go back and forth all the time in our division. Just don't do that with Rummel, man. But anyway, but no, I'm just gonna say it, Coach Back. You got to start Marquise Washington, man. How can you not start Marquise Washington, man? I'm gonna be killing myself if Marquise gives me 400 yards this season, in passing or whatever, man. But you got to start Marquise. He's the biggest story, the biggest name in the RFL. Like, what was he, number 2? Drafted number 2?
3.
Number 3? Well,
3.
Well,
yep.
3?
3 to the Aviators. Yep.
Yeah. So. I mean, he should have probably been 1, but anyway, I'm just saying, man. Like, how can you not play him? How can you not, play him? Like, how can he not be the guy who's playing for the whole regular season? I don't know, but that's your call. That's why you're the coach, and I'm over here with the Cougars, man. So, I want to see what's going on, man. But I coach Back. I'm not taking anything away from you, man. I think that you have the skill to obviously, compete in the division and make things really, really hard. I just don't know about number two, and I definitely ain't gonna be number 1, man. So I don't know what to say else. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. So my rankings, I think everybody all pretty much for the most part coming to this agrees. Is Cougars at 1. At 2, I got the Huskies, man. I know the Bulls are really good in the regular season, like Bill says, but I feel like the Huskies, especially with this newly acquired coach they got with Mackay Kelsey, man, I think that they're going to be a really good group that could notch the Bulls a little bit, So I got the Huskies and obviously the Bulls at 3rd, and just like you guys were saying, man, Coach Back seeming like a really great coach. And it not even seems. I think he is going to be a really great coach here, and definitely agree with you on that Marquise deal, Rob. But at the end of the day, the Aviators need a lot of work. They need, and they're in a very top-heavy, well, not even really top-heavy. The whole division is great, but the Aviators just are not near that level yet.
Yeah, they just need some more time yet. They need time to develop, man.
They need time. They were good. They were good in years past, but it just seems like a huge dip off. The defense got worse, aging and stuff like that, guys. So, just taking over at the rebuild phase Well, yeah, I just don't see the Aviators notching any of those 3 teams over the course of this season.
This is a good one. My bad. Oh, my bad. Speak. Go ahead. Because I don't want to drag it on.
Okay, so ARC South, we got the newly minors here. We got the Armadillos, Dreadnoughts, and Bisons. So, what you guys got?
I'm gonna have to go Dreadnoughts.
Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dreadnoughts. I think they have this. It's not so much like a huge, like, they for sure have it, but they are pretty cemented as, I think, the best team in this division right now. The Armadillos and Miners, to me, they're both 2 and 3 in my book. You could flip flop them and it wouldn't really throw me off anymore. Just because I think both of them have good pieces, but they both still need to, whether it's develop guys or get a couple of new guys. Plus, I don't know. I just know the Dreadnoughts to me are number 1. It's a toss up to me with the Armadillos and the Miners for 2 and 3. And then obviously the Bisons, we all know the Bisons they're even in a more of a rebuild spot, I think, than the Aviators are at this point. They just need time to develop, and they have a young quarterback. It's going to take a bit for the Bisons, but yeah, that's mine. Dreadnoughts, Armadillos, Miners, Bisons.
Man, until the quarterback is addressed with the Bisons, man, I seriously think that team is just not gonna be. I think that's probably the weaker of the teams in this division here, in my opinion. And obviously, no coach there, right? So, I kind of feel like that team's just not gonna be sweet. I feel like the Dreadnoughts are the team to beat there. I feel that what Frankie did last year, Coach Frankie, did last year with the Dreadnoughts was phenomenal, man. I mean, the guy balled. You know what I mean? He lost some key games, I think, toward the end. Smitty, correct? I believe.
I think it was like it was spread out. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what did he?
It was
he didn't
towards the back end though. He did make the playoffs.
Yeah. So he started off kind of hot, man, and it got kind of kind of dangerous toward the end, man. Of the season, but I think that he still has the team, man. Obviously, man. Jones out there, man, the wide receiver there, and the running back there. He's kind of forcing his quarterback, man. He's forcing his quarterback to be sweet, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say about it, but I like it. I like a guy that can force a guy to be sweet, because I'm that kind of guy, man. I like to force players to play above their caliber. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have a 99 and can't get them going. It's another thing to have a guy who's like a 78 or whatever, 79, and you got him killing. You know what I mean? So what he did with Matt Jones last season, I thought was pretty good. I thought that was pretty good, but it showed down the stretch, man. When you need those veteran style players and stuff like that, to be able to, keep up with other teams, some of the bigger teams and the bigger defenses. So we'll see what he's able to do there. The new coach with the Miners, he's kind of improving, man. So I'm gonna put the Dreadnoughts. I always have liked the Conquistadors. I hate to call them the Miners, but I've always liked them. So I think what I'm going to do, man, is I'm going to say it's going to be a toss-up between the Bisons and the Miners for second place. I'm in favor of the Miners, and then Bisons at third, and then Armadillos at the bottom here. Ooh. Ethan did a lot of things with the Bisons, man.
You don't think Wade's going to do it?
Nah, man, nah.
Oh.
I don't think Wade's gonna. I don't trust Wade, man. I know he had some good games and everything, but I don't trust that guy, man. He still was half and half last season, wasn't he? Like, didn't he start off terrible and then got better over the season or whatever?
Yeah, he started off rough. He got benched for Hartsock for a few weeks, and then he came back in and he actually played really well. Yeah. I don't know if it was a scheme thing or what, but yeah, it was up and down.
Ethan's schedule got easier though toward the end as well, so that's why he kind of got better. You see, but Ethan made a lot of solid moves, but there's some things I see, man. Some things I see in the moves he was making that I feel are not going to. That this AI is not going to be able to, see what he was trying to do. You know what I mean? And so we'll see. We'll see. You know what I mean? But I got Miners, formerly known as Conquistadors, at 2, Bisons at 3, and then the Armadillos at 4.
Yo, just to add to this real quick for the Dreadnoughts, I know I was very tough on Matt Jones last year when he first got anointed the starter, and There was he signed him to the big contract, and I'm still gonna hold to that, man, because like I believe that the Dreadnoughts are a good enough team to go as far as they can, but they are also a team where if things don't go right for Jones, I know they got Cam Jones, and they got some other obviously great players, but this team is gonna go where Matt Jones goes, so like. They could end up at the bottom end of this division, or they could end up as the number 1, number 2 seed in the whole conference. It's all dependent on if Matt Jones steps forward to be that guy. And that's what I want to see. That's my biggest what if for the Dreadnoughts this year.
I forgot he has that guy, the McBride guy.
Yeah, he played 2 years, didn't play too well. His overall I don't know what happened there.
And he looks stupid.
And for my rankings of the ARC South, I got the Dreadnoughts, in my opinion, for 1. I am going to go with the Armadillos at 2. I think they're a very talented group, and I feel like even with Wade struggling at time to time, that the team is still very talented to still be able to compete well in that division. Then I got the Miners, and I finish off with the Bisons. But honestly, I feel like it's almost close to a 3-way tie between the Bisons, Miners, and Armadillos, because the Bisons really, like Rob was saying, made some pretty good moves, and I don't think they're the same at all as last year. I think they're going to be a little bit better as long as they stay away from injuries.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I just hope that they don't have the same downfall after all the mix-up like the Diablos did.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not going to say nothing like that yet for them.
All right, so the ARC East. We got the Bulldogs, Celtic Tigers, Sentinels, Black Knights. What's your rankings?
Well, we know the Celtic Tigers are going to be the 4th spot in this division, so it's really the other 3 teams above them, right? No.
Oh boy,
I'm kidding. Weak. I'm just kidding. He didn't even want to respond to that. He's like, I'm not even going to give this a time. No, the Celtic Tigers are going to be 1st, and I have the Sentinels 2nd. The Bulldogs are 3rd, but a close 3rd. And the Black Knights 4th.
Man, I'm on the fence, man. I feel that CT did not bolster themselves in the offseason, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man. Torrey got a chip on his shoulder down there in Orlando, man, and so does this guy Jacob Reed, man. These Bulldogs. It's getting hot out here for Dre, man. The room is filled with air and everything. I know the GOAT QB, the face of the RFL. It's getting real hot right now, man. You know what I mean? These London boys, those London boys got him trapped, and Torres out there. You got Schultz out there now. Skyback is looking crazy from what I've seen. Some of the stuff I've been messing around with, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you, man. I think that if Dre is not on his A1 game this season, it could very well be the Orlando Sentinels or the Bulldogs. Now, the thing about the Bulldogs is the Bulldogs have made a whole bunch of moves. They ain't got no money, and Reed knows it. And they're about to make another move in free agency too, man. I know it's coming. I can't wait to see it happen. But I'm telling you, man, these guys are. Jay got some competition down here, Smitty. You know what I mean? I want to see what the year 2 Jacob Reed is all about, and I want to see what Coach Torre has cooked up, because Coach Torre, first of all, is well overdue. What's it been 2 years since he's returned back to the playoffs?
Yeah,
Smitty?
2 back-to-back years. Yeah,
and so that's not. I know he's got to be feeling the heat down there in Orlando, man, with that one. So I think he's gonna put together a game plan. This London Black Knights crew. Nothing against you. Mr. Carter, man, I know you're very interested in the team and stuff, and you love the RFL, but it's kind of like with unproven coaches, man. I kind of automatically just lump them at the bottom. You know, I just can't do that to Tour, and definitely not to Reed right now. So, I'm thinking it's gonna be a juggernaut for number 1 and number 2, man. So I can't really call it, but I'll go ahead and just say, CT at 1. I'm going to favor the Sentinels getting it done because they beat the Celtic Tigers last year. I'm going to put Jacob Reed at 3rd, and I'm going to put Black Knights at 4. But I'm telling you, this division right here, man, you could very well see the Bulldogs, Celtic Tigers, and Sentinels all trying to go into to the playoffs, man. You know what I mean? Like, so that's gonna be real tough down there, man. Over there in the AFC East.
Yeah, and I know that you're probably not taking it serious, Carter. I just, like a lot of these times when we make this stuff, we're going off of the team that we've known, so like, don't think we're just like knocking you at coach at all, man. Like, I'm sure you don't, but I just want to put that out there. Like, this is what we've known for the last couple of years, so that's what we're going off of. We hope you prove us wrong. So,
of course.
Yeah, Mons, I'm gonna say CT, but I do agree with you guys. I feel like it's just going to be a very competitive division between those three guys. I feel like the Black Knights can even be a competitive team. But I just feel like the Black Knights are really just an aging team. They don't really got too much to go on to compete too well with these guys, unless we see some great scheming out of Coach Carter and everything. If he could get those guys working some magic, I mean, it did sweep the Bulldogs. No, not the Bulldogs, the Sentinels last year. And that was, I think, without a coach. So that goes to show you can't sleep on the Black Knights. I got CT still finishing in first. But
way.
I do feel like that if that doesn't end up being the case, I would not be shocked because Dre dropped from a whole 93 to an 87. He's looked good in practice and everything, but do I think he's going to have the same year like he had last year? I don't know about that. And as for the second team, I am going to go with the Sentinels, and I'm going to go with the Bulldogs at third and Black Knights last in the division.
There we go.
So we'll go on to the ARC West. And we got the Pioneers, Riverhogs, Red Dragons, and Voyagers. I think everybody knows who number one most likely is going to favor here. Who you guys got?
Yeah, buddy.
I got Red Dragons, man. But I'm going to tell you, them Voyagers are going to be close.
Yeah.
I got them at two. I really like what Coach Baker's doing. I think he's going to get even better this year. Now he's got a full offseason as the coach, knowing what's going on with the team. I really, really think that he's going to put up a big fight for the Red Dragons next year or this year. And right behind them, I got the Riverhogs at 3. And the Pioneers, man, of course, they're at 4. I love Jesse Newhouser, but I don't love him enough to put the Pioneers any higher than 4 until they show that they got some type of consistency on offense.
I feel the same exact way, except I had a little bit of a change, man. I'm gonna tell you, Davis. I know you got them Red Dragons flying around out there. It's a boy running around and everything. He's high and mighty. He had the touchdown win against the Cougars and everything. My Cougars in the ARC, man. But I'm going to tell you, Davis, if you don't tighten up, you might lose it to them Voyagers, man. Them boys have made a whole bunch of moves in the offseason. Draft was pretty wavy. The guy really turned around. Like, we're talking about turnaround teams. The Houston Voyagers had probably the best offseason in the league. And man, oh man, boy, oh boy, I'm not even going. We don't even have time to look at their roster. But the quarterbacks, them boys got out there, man. And now you got your boy Okoye at middle linebacker. Is that what he got now?
Yeah.
He stacked that defense, man. So I'm gonna tell you, Davis, don't be out there playing, Davis. Getting the boom, man. The boom. I know Davis for a long time, man. I know he's a great coach, man. I know he's gonna have the Red Dragons back to perennial imperialism. But I'm just saying, it's a close one there. I'm not gonna say it's anybody's for number one in that division in the AFC West. It could easily be Red Dragons. It could very easily be the Voyagers. As we know, Voyagers were just one game away from a playoff berth, last season. And then of course, I just don't think the Riverhogs and the Pioneers are there yet, obviously, and so until someone can get in there and take over those teams, obviously the Pioneers are still in rebuild mode, and obviously the Riverhogs are just coachless, and who knows what's going on over out there.
Yeah, they didn't really do a whole lot at all this year, did they?
Yeah, they really didn't do a lot, man. They have a lot of good, nice weapons, man, but it's just something about that team right now I'm just not seeing. So, but yeah, that's what I got it, man. It's going to be a close one up there with Red Dragons and Voyagers, man. I'll go ahead and say Red Dragons because they won the Relo bowl and everything, but I can't just say that they just got it a full. Just going to roll over the Voyagers, man. I don't believe it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, as for mine, I think the Red Dragons, I agree that the Voyagers are definitely going to be the competition for that number one spot. I feel like the Red Dragons are going to still be able to get it done, though. So I got them at 1. Voyagers at 2 because of that. And like you said, the 2 other teams with Pioneers and Riverhogs, I don't feel like they are on that level, especially the Pioneers. I wouldn't say especially too much, though, because I do feel like they got themselves a pretty okay defense. The offense can be okay at times, too. Depends on what George McAfton is going to be playing like for the Pioneers. But as for the Riverhawks, this is another team with a huge question mark because you got an agent Hunter Mackey, who used to be a top guy at quarterback in the RFL, the first MVP of the RFL, and he's regressed as well pretty heavily. And he's still got great receivers, still got a good running back and everything. The defense is pretty okay, but I just don't feel like it's on the level of the Red Dragons or Voyagers, and I just don't feel like the Pioneers are that team that's going to really be able to bolster up too much. So I got them at 4th. And that's it for the ARC side. Let's go ahead to the NRC.
Did you see Razier might need a bell in the chat here. He's saying the Red Dragons aren't even going to make the playoffs.
Oh yeah, he's bugging.
Yeah.
All right, so
you lost your mind.
Get a look at the league schedule for preseason in the A and the NRC.
Shout out to Joker FDY, or as we know him, Coach Frankie, for the $4.99 donation. He says RFL is back. Appreciate the love, commissions. Don't forget defense got better. Hashtag Area 51. Now you just had to pay us just to talk about your team again, didn't you?
All right, so for the NRC side, let me see what we got here. Okay, here we go, Bill. We got the Explorers versus Wizards going down in the NRC side, week 1 of the preseason. When is that going down?
That is going down Monday. It is the opener at 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday.
All right, so you guys got it right there. Great action right there. I still say rivals, even though we know that the Wizards turned and changed from the Marshals. So.
If you don't know, you're new. Let's just say, because I know we got a lot of new guys this year. About 2 seasons ago, we had different divisions. We changed up our divisions to make more sense logistically. And before that, the Explorers and the then Marshals were in the same division, and they always had some really good matchups. So the Wizards now and the Explorers is still a pretty good rivalry, I think. So it's good, should be a good game. And the Wizards are a great team as well. I mean, they were right up there with me and the Thunderbirds last year in the playoffs. I mean, they're an excellent team.
Yeah, man, it should be a great game.
We only got 2? Okay, 3. Okay. So we got the Desperados and the Tigers also playing. What time is that, Bill?
Desperados and Tigers is actually following right after. No, sorry, that's Sunday night. Sunday night late game is the Desperados versus the Tigers. So it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.
All right, there we go with the Sunday night game and to close out week 1 on the NRC side. Got a good old division rivalry matchup between the Snowhawks and the Crusaders. What time is that going down?
That is our closer. That is the last game on Monday following the Wizards and Explorers game.
And shout out to Rob.
Yeah, you get to call that game.
You get to call this. You get to play that little trailer you made for Coach Bach. Get it going, man.
The boys love when I come over there to the NRC, man. I love calling those games, man. I don't go over there often, but yeah. Gotta go over there and call that one. It's gonna be a great one.
You act like we're a different country over here or something.
Yeah, y'all are, man.
No,
a lot of funny business going on over there,
you
man.
Stop it.
Yeah. You got guys putting let me say it.
To RFL Fowler number 42 for the $2 donation. Let's go RFL. I'm here for life, he says.
My God. For week 2, what do we have? We have the Elks and the Diablos going at it in week 2 for the NRC, followed by
That's gonna be a good game.
Shamrocks and Desperados.
I want to see that one too.
Tigers and Monarchs. It's going to be, I guess, interesting, even though they low-level teams.
The excitement in your voice there.
I know, because I feel like Tigers are a lower-end team, but I still feel like they're an average team.
These
Monarchs,
are the kind of teams that you want to watch though in preseason, man, because these are the guys that have everything's up for grabs.
Yeah. So I still think that's going to be a pretty good preseason game. And look at this, 2 games here: it's Steamers and Condors. And then we have the Gunners and Snowhawks. So 2 quarters apiece for the starters and the backups. Those are some good matchup games right there. Week 3 with the starters getting 3 quarters. what we got going on? Steamers and Snowhawks. So Coach Mitch
Ooh.
versus Coach Jones, man. It's about to get real with that one. Can't wait to see how that one goes. That's pretty much a full game, 3 whole quarters right there.
Yeah.
We'll see how they play that, though. You got the Barons and Tigers division guys going at it. Let's see what else we got. I think that's the first and only game that the Barons have in the preseason.
Yeah.
And we got
shout out to Legion of Gaming for the $4.99 donation. He says, #Explorer Gang. Bill in Columbus gonna win it all. That's what I like to hear.
We'll see, man. Hopefully it's not like last year.
Oh,
The
that was low. That was low.
The Desperados, man, taking on the Wizards. That should be another good one right there.
Yeah.
And the Thunderbirds finally getting some smoke right here. Here we go, Strauder with the Condors. First preseason game right there for them. So it's gonna be a
I'm
wait.
just waiting to see Ray Franklin.
Oh yeah. And let's see what we got going in the final week of the preseason. Diablos versus Steamers. Tigers versus Thunderbirds.
Mauled.
And we got the Condors versus Shamrocks, which is, I think, is a pretty good game right there. And the Monarchs versus Snarks. This is pretty much just one quarter with the starters, though, so this will be pretty much be backup central that we'll be watching, like the week 1 games. But these still some pretty good matchups right here. So that's what we got there for the NRC preseason matchups. Let's go ahead and now dive into who we think are going to be winning their divisions. Let's start out with what I believe is the hardest division in the RFL, man. We got the NRC North. Tigers,
Really?
Explorers,
You gonna put us up there like that?
Barons, and Thunderbirds. I mean, with the Explorers and Thunderbirds, man, something serious. And then you got, Barons, even though my man likes, guys, he talks crazy and heavy about his team. He just got a lot of confidence in his team. The Barons aren't a weak team. They're still a pretty good team. They actually beat the Thunderbirds, split with them last year. So,
Yeah.
you never know, man. I think this is definitely a heavy division right here. Just as much, I'd say, equal with the other North, with the in the NRC and ARC, excuse me, with what they got, the Cougars, Tigers. I said Tigers, Cougars, Huskies. We already saw them. I'm blanking on them, but Aviators and Bulls. Yep. So those guys. So what do you guys think is going to happen in this division right here?
Man, I got to go my own team, of course, but it's not just being a bias. I think I did a lot last year, and if it wasn't for if I could have at least beat the Thunderbirds 1 game, we would have been like straight up tied for the division. It's really close. I think that this year, I think I can take the division. I know the Thunderbirds are going to be right there alongside me, and the Barons are going to be right behind the Thunderbirds. It could be a toss-up, especially this year with the Thunderbirds not having a coach. It might be different. We don't know. It could be worse. It could be better. I like what Roland is doing as much as, me and him go at each other, and I think it's more playful than anything. It's just a little fun banter between division rivals. But I do like what the team has done. I just think that they need a little bit more time to develop and to make sure that all of the pieces they have found are working together, So I do think the Barons are going to take 3rd just because of that fact. You can be an excellent coach, but just because you're an excellent coach does not mean that your team is just going to be an excellent team right off the bat. So it takes time. And the Tigers are going to be 4 just because, to me, I feel like the Tigers have no identity. They have no clue what they want to be at on either side of the ball, and they got a lot of work to do. So I can't put the Tigers anywhere even close to 3rd. But yeah, and that's what I got.
Yeah, man. I'm just go ahead and knock the Tigers all the way at the bottom, man. They're just upgraded Monarchs, if you ask me, man. So they I don't think they're going to be as shifty in this division here. I'm gonna be honest, man. I think that the Thunderbirds are going to be, I think they're going to be good, but not great without a coach. There were some things that Mark was doing with that team, Coach Kozira was doing with that team, which was forcing that team to be as good as it was. And Smitty, you know how I feel about the AI, man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the AI is just such a downgrade from coaches. And so I feel that because the Thunderbirds don't really have that Kozira touch, I think that team is not going to be as great. Now, I'm saying that knowing full well that they just upgraded the whole offensive line, man. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Like, I'm saying that they got Stroud out there, and I'm saying that confidently though. Then that I think that Bill is gonna edge them out. But if obviously if Bill can't do it, no one can. I know the Barons. I know the Barons beat them and everything. They beat them last year or whatever it was earlier in the season or whatever, and he's high on that. He feels good. But the thing about the Barons, and I don't want Roland to take this any kind of way, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. It's the decision making toward the end of the season, which is why he probably wasn't in the playoffs, and he has to make better decisions with his team if he wants to get those Barons to flex, because those Barons are pretty darn good, man. Watching them, I know Bill hated it, he's playing them and everything. Those guys are just like a whole bunch of wasps, just on the Explorers and on other teams, man. They play hard, they score fast, they're defensive, they're offensive, they're good, you know what I mean? But it's like the small little decisions sometimes with Coach, man, that I feel that threw that team off, man, because that team was looking pretty good most of the season, but and I know he probably doesn't, he's like, nah, man, we couldn't have made the playoffs. But no, man, a lot of things happened at the playoffs, man. We saw the Lancers go all the way from 1 to 8
Last 6 with the moonwalk.
No one thought that. He's out here talking about he's the best. But anyway, so I think that the Barons are going to be that thorn in Bill's foot. You know what I mean? And I think that the Thunderbirds are still a strong team. They more than likely will be in the number 2 position. I want to edge. I'm going to put my man Bill up there. I think Bill edges out the coachless Thunderbirds. I think that the Barons are in a strong 3, and I think that and they could possibly be 2. Who knows, man? Maybe he gets the best of a coachless Thunderbirds as well. I think that the Tigers, man, it's just a wrap for them, man. So I'm going that, but with the possibility that the Barons could possibly, it could be Explorers and Barons in this division, man. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, good breakdown right there. Definitely going to go with the Explorers here. Now, I don't know why I use the word definitely all the way, but I do feel like I just kind of have a feeling like the Explorers and Bill, you guys going to get it done here in this division. Of course, the Thunderbirds don't have no coach, but that is still an OD stacked team that I still feel like even without a coach is still going to be able to dominate. They may not be able to do, have certain formation subs and stuff like a coach and all that stuff will give them, but I honestly feel like that defense is still that defense, that nobody's going to really be able to move well against some coach or not. And for the offense, the big concerns with the Thunderbirds is that, they really have no offensive weapons from what I've been seeing, from just test practices is, these receivers are still pretty decent. And they honestly didn't pass the ball all too well last year, even when they had Montrell and Sana. So, and then you think about it, they didn't have their starting running back actually playing, which is one thing I knocked Coach Kozera on is, he got great production out of the backups, but who knows how much consistency you would have got out of that star running back when they had Cornell Mixon. They trade him, they bring in a third running back, and it's Overstreet now, who I think is going to be, playing all season. I think he's going to be, the run game might be even better than it was last year, and I honestly feel like the offense can thrive without a passing game that's that prevalent, because they did the same thing last year. So I feel like the Thunderbirds are definitely going to go for that number 2 spot. As for the Barons, the main thing that really, we know it's a good team. Big thing, you already touched on it about, the decisions definitely should have had. I honestly feel, and I talked with Coach Woods about this, is, the decision making towards the end of the season is really what cost them the playoffs. They should have been a playoff team last year, and we're going to call it like it is, and hopefully, and he says this, he said this in the podcast and everything. He learned from this and make the right decisions, at the right times, because this is not a division that you think you're going to dominate. It's just not going to happen like that. Maybe you can get around on the Tigers, and even though I've been hearing from both you guys breaking down the Tigers, saying okay, put them dead last. I mean, yeah, we could put them dead last, but it's not like, honestly, I feel like the Tigers definitely have a chance to compete with the Barons, because that Tigers team, they missing a quarterback. We don't know what Billy Johnson's going to be, but at the end of the day, let these guys get themselves a quarterback. Or if Billy Johnson actually ends up balling, the Tigers defense has always been pretty solid. I think it stayed the same for the most part. And from that being said, I honestly feel like the Tigers can definitely split with the Barons, you know, and may not be as weak as we think they will be. I don't think they're going to be anything higher than last in the division, though. But, you know, you never know. I wouldn't be surprised if they do overtake the Barons going to 3. You know,
well, they did beat the Lancers in week 17.
Yeah, and you know, you just never know what, you know. I honestly feel like this is a sleeper team that you just got to make sure that you're not sleeping on when you play them. So, but I will definitely give the Barons the 3rd. I do feel like they're going to finish 3rd, and then the Tigers last. But I think it's going to be close for 3 and 4.
Yo, you know what I want to really see, man? Though I want to see Jocko for the Tigers. I think that's going to be cool to see.
And they, you know, they already had Antoine Muldrow, the middle linebacker, was an absolute beast. So 2 beast linebackers there. You know, that defense is still going to be pretty good. All right, so for the NRC South, Wizards, Desperados, Lancers, and Diablos. What's your rankings?
Man, this is another, I think, loaded division. I'm going to go Wizards just because I just feel that the defense the Wizards have is very solid, and their offense has gotten better. They bring in Mickens, which is huge. That's a big up. Like, I know Rayshon Overstreet was great for them last year, and he's been great for the franchise, but Mickens is just a different back when he's used properly. He just did not get used properly in Toronto last season, and that is partially why the Thunderbirds offense sort of struggled, is because he just refused to use him properly. The Wizards, I think, do, and that makes them that much more dangerous. So I got Wizards easily at number 1. I have the Desperados at 2. It depends on the quarterback play. They could go 2 all the way down to 4. This is where it gets really tricky for me, because I still believe that Diablos have a great team, but they just do not have a clear path of what they're going to do. But we've seen what they can do when they're fully on the same page. So the last 3 teams to me are sort of almost a mix-up depending on what teams do. But I'm going to actually go Lancers 2nd, Desperados 3rd, and I'm going to go Diablos 4th. But that, to me, man, 2 to 4 in this division is just all over the place for me.
Yeah, man. With respect to Tavion Hall, man, there's no coach here at the Desperados, and that puzzles me. So I got to take him and put him to the side right now, man. Diablos, man, one of the best power run games in the league, man. And I think that the coach, if Forbes gets that team together, man, that team is definitely competing here. But he's a new coach, man. He's a new coach, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be consistent with it. He's a new coach, and he hasn't proven anything to us yet. So we definitely can't possibly put him up there with the Lancers, who were a playoff team last year, and the Wizards. Now, what I'm going to say about the Wizards, I'm going to stop calling them Wizards and calling them Marshals, man, because I think people are getting confused, man. I know it sucks. With the big beard and the hat, but these are the Marshals from last year, right? First of all, Coach has not done anything but add on to the Marshals since he joined here. He hasn't lost a single player from their core. He's added, improved, and upgraded positions. Bill just mentioned with Cornell Mickens, the cornerback Kiwani Sessions. He got on there. He's drafted future playmakers. Morris Wright. He has Devin Flores now. Mm-hmm. He already had Agramani and all these other guys.
Sean Acosta, rookie receiver. Yeah,
correct. He's already he signed a lot of players too. He fixed the O-line as well. I watched coaches moves, man. Coach has really done a great job with improving on the Marshals, man. Not like trading away guys and releasing guys and everything. You know, he's built upon the core, and so I know guys will want to. I saw the articles and everything, man. He got the guys all the way at the bottom here. These are the Marshals, man. like these are the Marshals, man. They were really scary last year. If you watch the season, man. So I'm gonna say that this division here, I think this division belongs to the Wizards, Marshals, simply because I like what Coach was able to do with this team and how he improved upon it. I know the Lancers coach. I know Coach Noah's gonna say, "Oh, what do you mean, man? We went farther, blah blah blah." But you know what? He almost made some bad decisions too at the end. He didn't scheme against the Steamers, and he knows he didn't. and he lost that game there, and he just barely got through that game in the playoffs, man. And he just took I don't know if he took off or what, but he took a lot of time off toward the end of the season and slid all the way from being the top team, to a 8 seed or whatever, and barely making it to the playoffs and everything, just hanging on. And I know he's gonna say, oh well, we had guys injured. Well, it doesn't matter. Injuries happen in football. You got to learn how to scheme. You got to learn how to put the guys together. You wouldn't sign a second starting back, and you couldn't get him going in your system. So, and with your main guy, who actually who's lesser, not a better overall than him, he's injured, and you got a 94 overall guy, and you can't get him going. So, in my opinion, that looked really, really bad on Coach right there, man. You couldn't get that going. Now, what I will say is that with this, bolstered running attack that he has, when NO3 came back into the season, man, those guys are looking pretty good, man. You could immediately see the impact that he made, especially in that playoff game. You could see that was a totally different offense. So I'm hoping that Coach has learned some things. He's been scheming, hopefully, and he's learned some things how to get control of his team, and maybe he'll have the good start he had, and hopefully have a way better finish than he had, man, because that finish was just absolutely terrible there. But I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to belong to the Marshals at number 1, the Lancers at number 2. I'm going to put the Diablos at number 3, and I'm going to put the Desperados at number 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that list there as well, man. I mean, I know Desperados could be a very talented team. Had I would say the best running back. Well, about even, with between the conference between him and Trey Worsley. But still, I would still say, he's a dynamic player. But that quarterback situation, with Chase Mason just was not the same as he was in London with the Monarchs. So I honestly feel like the Desperados, they're definitely going to compete, but I don't think they're going to be able to compete and beat out the rest of the teams in this division, man. I got the Wizards coming out on top of this, aka Marshals. I got the Lancers, and I got the Diablos, man. They got themselves a coach. They've always been a talented team. I honestly feel like Coach Forbes will be able to get things right here and get at least third. And as for the Desperados, man, they were a great team. They missed the playoffs though, and so I got them at 4th.
Just before it runs off the bar here, because I see it's about to, shout out to Coach Rummel, Joshua Rummel, for the $5 donation. He says, respect, Mix, Bill, and Smitty, watch out for the Marshals/Wizards this year.
Nice. All right, on to the NRC East. This is a pretty decent division here. We already know the struggles with the Monarchs, but we got the Steamers, Gunners, Monarchs, and Shamrocks. Who you guys got winning this one in the rankings?
Man, I got to go with Coach Jones and them Steamers, man. He has done, like you mentioned with Coach Rummel being able to add pieces. I mean, I feel like I've said this a lot, but what else can you say? Like, the Steamers just, 2 years ago, were defeated for the whole season. Yeah. And he, in one or two seasons, just took this team and turned them all the way around, man. I got the Steamers winning this division. I have the Gunners in a close second, because I think the Gunners, if they can figure out how to use Nickens the way the Condors could not, I think the Gunners are right up there with the Steamers, because Jabri is still Jabri, even though, he's getting older.
And he's got receivers now.
Yes, I was just going to say that, man. They got some guys, and I cannot wait to see Carlton Scruggs with Jabri Jackson. That's, to me, is going to be a great thing to watch. And if they can get Nickens going, it's going to be a dangerous offense. And then I got the Shamrocks, of course, at 3. I love the Shamrocks. I love Tom Wilson. Man, they just never seem to be consistent enough. It's either Tom Wilson holding the whole team up, or maybe the defense one game, but they can never just all put it together for long enough stretch to really solidify anything. And I just can't trust them, even though I want to see them win. So I think that they're going to be behind the Gunners and the Steamers. And then, of course, the Monarchs, man. Coach Cam's got a lot of work to do. He knows it. We all know it. The Monarchs are not expected to win anything for this year, probably even next year, but they're going to be in 4th in this one, because they're far away yet.
And shout out to Coach Cam for the donation.
Yeah. Big shout out to you, Coach Cam, man. I just want to piggyback off of Bill right there, man. We don't expect you to do anything this season, man. If I were you, I would tank. I can't say that. I shouldn't be saying that. But anyway, let me stop. But no, seriously, man. that like his team has obviously just been destroyed, man. You know what I mean? And so I can't even include him in the NFC East, man. You know what I mean right now. With that said, man, do we have any dislikes on the video yet, Smitty?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Of course
sure
we do. Yeah, we got one. We got one.
Well, let's get another one. The best thing that happened to the Steamers was Justin Jones, and I'm pretty sure Shelby is rolling over right now, pissed off right now. And Justin Jones is still the head coach of the Memphis Steamers. Backstory on that, Jones was his assistant, and he made a whole bunch of moves and fired the man off the Steamers team. And then once Shelby was out of here, Jones got back on here. Team hadn't won in over a year, right? And once Jones got him, they started winning games. Drafted right, they built that team. That team is out here competing with powerhouses, and it's one of the youngest teams in the game. You know what I mean? So hats off to Justin Jones, man. So I see you all day. He's definitely going to take that division. I got a feeling. I like this Gunners team as well. I've been talking a little bit about the Gunners, trying to talk them up a little bit here. Didn't they get Kayan, Smitty?
Yeah, DeAndre Kayan. Yep.
Kayan on one side. Yeah, got Kayan on one side. Then they drafted my boy. What's my boy name?
Carlton Scruggs.
Yeah, Carlton Scruggs. Yeah, they drafted my boy Carlton Scruggs. Shout out to him. Running game still good. They still got Jabri out there. And so I feel, man, I really feel. I'm glad they got rid of Colt Cruz, man. I'm really glad they got, because I just wasn't feeling this Colt Cruz thing, man. Like, it just never really fizzled with me. Why Colt Cruz? I know we were pretty excited when you put him in free agency, Smitty, but when Colt Cruz got to the Gunners, I was just like, something is not going on here, man. Something is not. Why is he in Jabri's offense? You know what I mean? Like, was there anybody
just wasn't performing. Like, he 90 plus overall, but was just not balling.
No swag, man. That's why he's on the Lancers now. But anyway, yeah, I'm on the podcast now, fellas. I'm on the podcast. They let me loose. I was trying to stay off the podcast. They forced my arm. So now I'm talking now. It is what it is.
Oh my God.
So
Shots fired.
So look, man. The Gunners are pretty sneaky, man. They're looking like they're gonna be a problem, man. And so Steamers, I know Justin's learning, man. But I know he's not gonna take it lightly, especially after the loss last year in the playoffs. He did not want to lose that game to the Lancers, man. It's haunting him, and I think that he's gonna come back this season, and he's learned a lot. You know, and I don't think he's going to sleep on anybody in his division. I think he's going to try to – I think Jones is going to beat all these guys, man. You know, so I'm going to say Steamers. I'm going to say Gunners under there. I'm going to go ahead and put the Shamrocks over the Monarchs there, and that's what it is, because Mick said so.
Yeah, you can see Rozier out here boosting up Colt Cruz since he made the trade for
MVP.
Yeah.
All right, so for my rankings, I got the Steamers in this one. I honestly feel like it'll still be pretty close with the Gunners, because the Gunners, let's think about this, man. Jabri Jackson beat the Steamers last year by himself, pretty much. He's got weapons now. So when it comes to these two competing, I honestly feel like the Gunners and the Steamers, it could definitely go either way. I honestly feel like the offense of the Gunners is boosted, but the reason why I'm really giving it to the Steamers is because I feel like their defense is more prepared than the Gunners is. The Gunners really don't have themselves a solid defense. And, of course, we got to see what happens with Coach Rell. Like, what is the offense going to be like? Is it going to pick up where it left off towards the end of the season? Or is it going to be stagnant like it was at the beginning of the season last year? But if he could get it going, like Bill said early, I think the Gunners definitely have themselves a shot to compete and be the #1 team. But I see that offense of the Steamers, man, is just too great with Reed Wagner, those receivers, Romeo Jackson. You got Eric Reese. I believe he's got to be the all-time leading tight end, even though we haven't gotten the stats yet in receiving yards, because I think he's got 2 records for the most receptions in the season. So with that being said, that offense, this is definitely going to be a top 3, I would say even top 2 passing offense this year. And as for the Gunners, I think they'll finish second. They'll be close. And the Shamrocks, I think, will be pretty close too, but not all the way there. So I got them at 3. And, of course, the Monarchs finishing out last. And for
Rozier's out here being like, he's easy to go to bed or something, man.
And for the final,
he goes, I had to get him talking about Cruz because I know you hate Cruz and I want him to succeed. So you went and got a whole 90-something overall receiver that hasn't played well in 2 years because somebody else didn't like him?
Yeah,
I
I
always say
don't
I
know.
love all the Lancers hate. It feels bad. It's not hate. I'm calling it like it is,
Yeah,
man.
it's truth, man.
I'm just calling it like it is, man. They're not like when you think of the Lancers,
boy.
they're not like the most popular swagged out team in the, I mean, they got some
Yeah.
solid players and everything, but they're not like, they're not the
Bro,
Thunderbirds, they're not the
dude,
Explorers.
hold on.
They're not the
Hey,
Sentinels.
just
I mean,
you don't have to explain it, man. They got two-tone brown.
yeah,
Okay,
all
they got
right,
two-tone brown colors.
Brown, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. Maybe you can wear some yutters with them Lancer outfits.
There it
Yeah.
is.
I don't even know if I got if the shade would match with them.
Oh no, even the yutter's not good enough.
Yeah,
bro.
that's
Come
not.
on,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know, man. We'll see how that goes when we get the mod thing going. But the
Boy, oh,
NRC West, man, final division in the RFL. How do you think this was going to shake out with the Crusaders, Elks, Condors, and Snowhawks?
Well, I hope Bachagalupi is here and he's ready to open up his chip factory like he mentioned before. Because it ain't the Crusaders I got at the top of this one, man. It ain't at all. I got Coach O'Brien making a strong comeback, and I think the Snowhawks are going to be number one. Whether you like them or hate them, whether you love them or don't care for them, they have one of the best put together teams and the best overall team in the NRC. And they got one of the best quarterbacks in the RFL. I think that they're going to do damage again this year. There's no debate on who's playing. There's no backups trying to play. Thank God Casey Chris is not taking the field. And hopefully not anyway, knock on wood. And I think right behind them, man, I think the Crusaders and Elks are going to battle for the number 2 and 3 spot. The reason being is I've liked what the Elks have been doing. They just haven't really been able to – they didn't piece it together last year. 2 years ago, Darius Martin just took off and had, 2,000 yards rushing. He was the next big thing.
19 close. He was close.
Yeah. Oh, close. Sorry. But last year just seemed to be an off year for him. Now, Coach O'Neill, Mike O'Neill, if you guys aren't aware, he used to be the Pioneers coach. He was here for quite some time before, took a leave, to take care of some, in real life stuff, and now he's back. I think he'll be able to do something with that team. And then I got the Crusaders right there because they're still a dangerous team. They have a good offense. I'm just not sold on the defense yet for the Crusaders, and I'm not going to put them solidify them as number 1 because of that, and I have them up in the air for 2 and 3 because of that as well. And then the Condors are very close too. This is almost like the what division was that for me, where it's just the bottom 2 to 4 are a toss-up depending on a couple of variables, because I like what the Condors did in the offseason. I think if they stick to the running game with Buki Johnson this year, they can be dangerous, and their defense has gotten significantly better. So I don't want to just say they're a 4th team for sure. It's just going to be tough with the Crusaders, who are last year's champs of the division, and the Elks with a great offense to overcome that. But that 2 to 4 is a big toss-up for me.
Yeah, I feel the same sentiment as Bill there. I got the Snowhawks obviously winning this division, man. I think that Coach Mitchell O'Brien is first of all, in the division, he seems like the most seasoned coach out of all of them, he has a really, really great team, and we didn't get to see it shine last year. Well, you're gonna feel it this year. So that's gonna be a very, very interesting there. I like the Elks. I like what Coach Marshall was able to do with the Elks last year. They fell just short last year as well. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Mike O'Neill is able to do with the Elks here. Are they powerful enough to battle with the Snowhawks? We will see, man. I got a couple of things I'm gonna say, man. I know Coach Bachagalupi is gonna be like, oh, he's got the chips on mix, man. He's gonna throw all the chips on me now. But it's all good because this is another situation. This division here is another situation of decision making from coaches, man. And I'm just gonna speak the real because it's all I can speak. I've seen each one of these coaches make some mistakes while coaching that hurt their team or hindered a process for them. My boy Mike, he knows I'm gonna always hold him accountable for the whole quarterback thing. We putting the quarterback on the practice squad.
Oh, the receiver, you mean?
Yeah, the receiver.
The receiver.
McConnell.
I'm always gonna hold him with that one. But I'm not gonna put him in there as much as the other guys. Just recently in the draft, the Condors, right? What's the halfback's name they signed?
Brennan Warner.
Yeah,
LSU.
Warner, right? So he had an issue with the running back we were discussing, right?
Ronnie
then
Nichols.
Ronnie Nickens.
Yeah, Ronnie Nichols, a power back, and he signs another power back, right? So now we got to figure out what's going to happen with that, right? So I'm curious to see what he's able to do there with that. He does have Ray on the other side. I really like that pick from him, but that is that going to be enough though to really turn the Condors around and make them, a powerhouse, or a team that's going to be a playoff contender, for next year. You never know. This whole thing with the Crusaders, man. Look at the most interesting moment, man, that the Crusaders should have won a game. They did not win the game. Last year, they played the Explorers in the final week, and he took out all his starters.
Oh,
and
don't do
Watch
this.
Galupi did not. They got blown out, right?
48,
and so,
I think, to 3 or 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and so I'm just gonna say, man, it's decision making, right? It's like at some point, you gotta like make the decision because the Crusaders are a remarkable team, man. I hope that he can get control of Ben Wakefield. I like to call him Wake and Bake and everything. Me and Roland go back and forth with that, but Wakefield, first of all, is one of the. Smitty, is he one of the only quarterbacks that's thrown or has he thrown the most 400-yard games or something like that?
I don't know about that, but he did throw for over 5K. He
Over
was one
5K?
of the 3 last year. Yeah.
This quarterback here, man, is awesome, and he has an awesome squad around him. He does have the aging receiver, Bentley. I think he just hit the 30 mark there, but he does have a solid backup wide receiver there in Alexander Colt, and so I want to see him get control of this team, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he really could do some things with this team, man. But he has to understand. He has to start understanding the team. I just got wind of the whole cornerback at free safety thing, man. Like that's crazy. Didn't know that. God's telling me, yeah, Rob, you had the quarterback at free safety the whole year. Like I'm like, what? Like that kind of stuff can cost you games, right? So what was his record last year? Was he like 10-6 or something?
He went 9-7, I believe.
9-7. So imagine if like you just lost a game.
No, he was 10-6. He was 10-6. Yeah.
So imagine if you could have been 12-4 or whatever, 11 and whatever, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, and have a better seeding, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But instead you made the little mistake because you're not paying attention, right? You know what I'm saying? So I personally feel like, he's another one, man, that has to like really tighten up on learning his team and really going into his playbook, looking at the schemes, looking at his players, matching them up, not trying to reinvent the team and make it do what you want to do. Go back, watch the history of the team, and build upon that, man, because I think that this team is the Crusaders. It's unfortunate that I have to put the Snowhawks over them, but it is what it is, So I'm going Snowhawks here. I'm gonna actually put the Crusaders at number 2. I'm gonna put the Elks at number 3, and I'm gonna put the Condors at the bottom of this division.
Yeah, good breakdowns there, man. I honestly feel like this is definitely the Snowhawks division. Dominant team, and honestly I feel like they would have definitely, in my opinion, I do feel like they definitely would have won it last year had it not been for the suspension. They still were a game away, and you think of those 4 games, I feel like I don't think that the Elks would have beat the Snowhawks twice last year, so that's the extra game right there. And I don't feel like they had the Thunderbirds, they probably would have lost that, but they could have probably beat the Elks twice, who knows. But this whole roster being back together at the start of this season, I feel like, Gilly threw quite a bit of interceptions in the final games, but that was because he missed half the season. You come in the game, momentum's low, and your guy just starts doing things that he's not usually doing, just trying to make plays, and I honestly feel like, that had an effect on the Snowhawks a bit, and they were still winning games with that. That goes to show you how great Joseph Gilly is. He can throw interceptions, he can turn the football over, which he's definitely known for, turning the ball over. He's got the record for the most fumbles in a single season back in season 3 with 22. But with that, he still has found ways to win games. They missed their playoffs for the first time because of that suspension, but I think they're going to be right back. I think they're going to win this division. At number 2, I honestly got the Elks. And the reason I got the Elks is because I feel like Darius Martin is going to be back. I feel like the reason that the Elks weren't as dominant offensively as they used to be was because he was not working. And, I don't know what was going on there, but I think that, it's going to be different here, especially on Madden 21. I feel like the running backs are a little bit better. I feel like a running back at his caliber is going to perform a lot better. And coach, I think he's going to figure something out there to get him going, man. So I definitely think the Elks are going to finish second in the NRC West. And then I got the Crusaders at 3. I really think that the defense is a huge problem for these guys. The offense,
yes,
not a problem, but the defense is horrible in my opinion. I think they have one of the worst defenses in the league, and the reason why I got the Condors really underneath of them is because I think the Condors defense is even worse. So with that being said, that's my rankings right there. Got Snowhawks, Elks, Crusaders, and then Condors.
Well,
So
wait, I know that Bachagalupa, you're saying he didn't start his starters again in that game.
He didn't start some of them. He took some out, but he didn't start. He started a good amount of them.
Wakefield was in there.
No,
he wasn't.
No, Wakefield was not. It was Hunter Sears, I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh, Sears was in there.
Mhm.
Yes, Sears was in there. I remember that.
That still was crazy though.
So that's what we got for the schedule reveal, the preseason. You guys got to get our early predictions on who we felt was going to win and rank in the divisions that they're in. We still got a couple other things we got to hit on. Let's go ahead and move on to the Relobuck program, which is, I know this is what most people have been waiting on, man. This is I gotta, you guys, if you see any questions, let me know. But I gotta pull up the my notes for this so I make sure I hit everything on it.
Yes, this is, I cannot. You guys have no idea. This has been in the works for how long now, Rob? How long have we been working on this?
Oh man, forever, for the end of time.
This was something that Rob brought to our attention, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somewhere around
about
there.
a year and a half.
Yeah,
a little over that.
It was a long time ago. Rob brought this, like, it was obviously a very young idea at the time, and we've been working on it and then forgetting about it because of other things, then working on it, forgetting about it, working on it, forgetting about it, and now we finally have it all ready to go, and I can't wait to see this. And
another thing about it is, like, Rob definitely, like, his idea with it, man, was great, and it sparked me. And the crazy part about the direction of where the idea went was, I was on a phone app one day, and I seen how it, like, rewarded people for, like, watching the ad or doing certain things, and I got the idea, like, man, what if we throw something similar like this with that idea you had? And we just started building upon that, and this thing just, I think it's going to be a great addition to the league. It's really going to feel like you're a part of the league. Where did I put this message, Bill? I know I'm talking here, but where did I put the message with Beazle?
What are you talking about?
Because I feel like, I think I DM'd him. I sent him that stuff direct. Okay, so I found it. Yeah. So let's go ahead and break down what the Relobucks is all about. So you see, that's just the cover of this, and we get a look at the Relobucks and how you can earn them. So there's a couple ways you can see here on how you can earn them. One, of course, being a Patreon member. We're doing away with guys just paying their money, their $5, just to get an attribute boost right away. So instead of getting an attribute boost right away, which I felt was just too much, we now are giving you a monthly supply of Relobucks towards your player that you can use. Of course, for the other things that we're going to be showing there. So you can earn it through your Patreon as being a Patreon member. Betting. So you guys already know about the betting in the RFL. Of course, there ain't going to be no real money here. We don't got no gambler's license. But with the betting, you could go to a game. We put our spreads out, and through the spreads, you get to pick, just like you would in the NFL, who you think's going to win and who's going to win by the spread and things like that. And you bet your Relobucks down on it. And based off of, the amount of teams and everything that you put down, say, for instance, you bet on one team, you only get 25% back of what you put down. And then, that increases on the amount of teams that you bet for. And so that's how you could get Relobucks is through betting. So you get more that way. Game appearances. So what we're about to do for game appearances is, in certain games, we're not going to let you know when we're going to do it, but we're going to have something that prompts up during the game in the screen, and whoever is able to respond when that happens is going to be able to comment in the chat at that time that they were there and they're to claim their Relobucks. And when they do that, then we'll go back to the stream, look at the chat, and then when we look at the chat, we'll be able to know, who was able to collect the Relobucks and be there on time. And so that also gives incentives for people to actually, stay for the game, because you don't know when we're going to pull that out. It could be the first quarter, the fourth quarter, third, second, you don't know. Whenever we put that prompt up, you want to make sure that you are there, so you don't want to miss a moment of any game. And then for community activity, just being active and things like that, you're making posters, you're helping out in the community. We got some other things coming up with that you can help out with too, on ways to earn Relobucks that we're going to be able to describe as well. So the community activity is another great way for you to earn Relobucks. Another thing about this too is that this is not for the RFL community as a whole. This is for Discord members, and the only way that you can get in the Discord is from if you've submitted a player, if you're part of the staff, and if you also, well, that's pretty much if you're part of the staff doing whatever else, like as a journalist, graphic designer, things like that. So yeah, you guys got anything to say about this? Or
I have just something, I guess, a question / suggestion. I'm not sure if we're able to do this or not, but it's hard to find who's who in the YouTube. So I'm wondering, is it possible to get the guys to switch their YouTube names to the Discord name?
Okay, what we could do is we can make that a requirement too.
Or if they don't want to do that, because I mean this is their full on YouTube channel.
Or they could take a picture of it.
No, what if we keep a record in the Discord?
A record in the Discord
of what their YouTube name is.
Oh yeah, what the YouTube name? Okay, yeah. Okay,
idea.
yeah. So but that would be better, so they don't have to change their name then. Okay, so yeah, we'll make a channel in the Discord, and you guys can put your name there, and then then that way I'll be able to check that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's ways you can earn the Relobucks. And guys have been stacking these up pretty much for a whole year now. So I know quite a few guys who's already stacked up on it or anything like that. But yeah, that's how you can earn the Relobucks. So now you earn them. What can you spend them on? So attribute boosts. Now this attribute boost, you will not be able to put these in specific areas. You can put it in specifically like tailored areas. So it's going to be a randomizer. You will not get to choose what attribute gets boosted, but you can choose what type of attribute gets boosted, and that goes into this this picture right here. So for strength related attributes, if you want to boost up your strength related attributes, this is pretty much just like NCAA, how you had to upgrade your player. So if you wanted to boost your strength related attributes, you would pay your Relobucks for the Gym Rat package. So that will increase your strength related attributes. For Film Junkie, that will increase your awareness related attributes. Speed Trainer, of course, that's going to help out with speed related attributes. Now, one thing is there are limits though. There are limits to what can be improved and what can't. Now, speed cannot be increased. Okay, you cannot increase speed and you cannot increase acceleration no matter what position you are. That can be earned only through the game. If Madden you get that upgrade, yeah. But dudes don't change their speed drastically and things like that in real life. So we don't want to have guys that's all of a sudden go from being an average runner to a full out Usain Bolt sprinter, just burning guys. It's just not going to happen. And so the Speed Trainer is going to go towards things to help you move faster and things like that. So student in the game, this is one where it's not like Film Junkie where it's awareness based. So the student of the game is for all your core attributes. So instead of you being stuck on strength, awareness, and speed based things, this could go towards any core attribute for your player. So that's more of a wide variety of things. And then also you can only use this based off the tier. So there's tiers to this. So tier 1, you get 3 attribute upgrades. You cannot get student in the game in a tier 1 or tier 2. It has to be the highest tier 2 tier, which is tier 3, in order to be able to purchase student of the game. And so the other ones you can use, of course, at any tier. So at tier 1, you get the 3, like I said. Tier 2, you get 4 attributes, randomized boosts, and then tier 3, you get 5. So that's how that works out. Everything is still randomized. The durability, that goes towards your stamina, toughness and injury. So if you know you're a guy who's injury prone, then you might want to work with that. Another thing with these also is that they are caps. You cannot raise these up to as high as you want your overall and those attributes to be. You only can use these attributes up to a grade of 85. So you can only boost the attribute up to 85 for tiers 1 and 2. If you purchase the tier 3, then you can go higher than 85 up to 90. And that, of course, is why tier 3 is going to cost a lot of Relobucks. And for the price range, you don't have to remember this. It's a lot that I'm throwing at you guys. If you want to go back and listen to this so you can be hip to it before we post on it on the website, you're always welcome to do that. But for a tier 1 purchase, it costs 15k Relobucks. So 15,000 Relobucks for a tier 1 package, which will get you a 3 attribute point boost. For a tier 2 level of these packages, it costs 25k. Okay, and then for tier 3, the highest level is 50k. So you definitely gonna have to grind out, get some Relobucks in order to get that high, attribute boost and things like that. And also, there's a limit to the amount of time that you can increase in a season. So you cannot go higher than 30 attribute points up in a season from Relobucks. So say, for instance, you pay for like a tier 3, you get your 5 attributes and things like that, and you've been paying for like tier 1 and 2 throughout. The minute that you've already reached up to 30 points, you cannot boost through Relobucks on your player anymore for that year. So with tier 1, it isn't just because it's 1 that counts as 1. It counts as 3 because that's the amount of attribute points that you'll be getting. So that you got to think about that as well. Make sure that you're if you know you're boosting your guy up, you need to know your limits. We got to make sure that this isn't something that's OP where guys are just changing out of the blue and just dominating just like that. This is definitely something that you'll see progression in from being in it. So it's great to have Relobucks. Definitely, because over time, if you are a very active member and you're doing everything and you're here and you acquiring a lot of Relobucks, your player will definitely be on the field much faster than he would have been if he was, going through just the regular Madden system. So it's definitely a key for you to, get Relobucks and purchase these packages that can help increase your player's progression. So that's what those are about. Once again, all that information will be on the website. So like I said, you can upgrade attributes. Another thing is traits. So there's going to be certain traits that certain guys can't touch, but there will be some traits available that you can boost. We haven't yet come out with the range, which is why we haven't posted this yet. There's still a few things that we need to work on in terms of, what can be touched and what's not. I'm working on that. But in terms of the traits, say for instance, it's not going to be like, say for instance, if you're a quarterback, you may want to go from being a scrambler to balance. But I honestly think that, you can do that if you want your guy to stay more in the pocket, but you can't go as drastic as like a scrambler to a pocket guy, and things like that. So that's pretty much how traits is going to work. You're just not going to go change a trait drastically to something that your player's archetype just is not. So that's how that's going to work. This contracts thing, this I think is supposed to be how you earn, because what we're also doing is you can earn Relobucks based off your contract. So now it come contract time. If you're trying to stay on a team and get, contracts usually don't matter, in Madden. You're on a team for 4 years, you're getting paid this money, but you're not really getting paid the money. But you will get Relobucks for each year. It'll be minimal. It won't be, of course, the amount that your contract is in the game, but you will get paid for your contract that you have in Madden. So it's pretty much going to be like you're actually getting paid as a player to use towards your progression. So you will get paid based off your contract. So that's another way that you can earn them as well. And also, giveaways is a way that you can spend it as well. It's going to cost $30K if we ever do a giveaway with RFL merch, a gift card, whatever. You guys can enter into giveaways by putting down, Relobucks towards that to enter that. for big prizes. You know, there will be some prizes where maybe you don't have to use Relobucks if it's not that big, but you know, for the big prizes you want to get in them, you want to make sure you got Relobucks to be able to put the money down for that to enter. So that's what I got there, and I believe that might be it. Yeah, that's.
I wanted to add this about the Relobucks itself, because I saw a few guys in here saying, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money." You got to realize, man, that we got people in the Discord right now with 50,000 in relos or close, and the only way they've been earning them is through betting. We are taking the betting and we're adding multiple ways to earn these things. So that's why the prices are so high. We don't want guys to be able to upgrade their players 7 overalls in a single season.
Bill,
Like, we don't want that. Yeah.
Bill, just say it, man. Just say it, Bill.
Say what?
If you're not active, you're not getting paid, man.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of this.
Everybody who said, "Oh Lord, it's 50,000 reloads," you haven't been in the Discord. You weren't going to the games. You know what I mean? Like, cause man.
But like,
guys,
honestly though, there is a way for them to think that this could be hard to get if they're just going off the betting. But I don't think the guys are realizing that we're adding activity. We're adding, helping with different things in the league. There's going to be way more ways to earn this than just betting and being right on a few games.
Yeah, and that's another thing I see Joseph Fontanez bringing up. Well, not Joseph, Leo bringing up is that you got to think also. You're still progressing in the game of Madden 2. We're not trying to make it easy for you to just boost up like that, because that doesn't happen in real life. If you're a really active player, you will definitely see the difference over time, and you'll get where you want to go faster. And then also you got to think, some guys come in already good players. And so if you're already good, you could definitely see the time faster through your Relobucks. If you're a guy who, is a low overall, you're not going to see the field for some years, you definitely want to get in on the Relobucks and boost your guy up, because you might be waiting like 5 years or more. And by that time, a lot of guys like to walk out when they see that, things ain't going their way. But just like Rob said, man, if you're not active, you're not getting paid. You got to be able to come up and show support to be able to get boosted. We're not going to allow guys who rarely show up and do things to be able to easily just boost up through progression off of Relobucks. There's guys who could sit there and bet all day but never show up to a single RFL game. So that's another thing you got to take into account. If you're an active member, man, you know what you're doing. You're going to be able to benefit from this. And I'm not going to say it's going to be fast. It's definitely still a process. But say you get your guy on the field fast enough, now he's getting snaps, he's getting progression on Madden on top of your Relobucks, you could turn your guy into the next star.
So there's a couple of questions here that I was just gonna want to make sure we get answered right away. So Christian Williams asked if you can buy relos. Yes, there is a Patreon package that you can purchase that will allow a certain amount per month to be paid out as long as you make your payment on the Patreon or keep the Patreon going. And then Mitchy Boy's asking, what package does get your man coverage and short route running up? I'm pretty sure Student of the Game would fall into that. So,
and honestly, Film Junkie would actually fall under that too, because I know awareness based is just like things that from watching film. Pretty much that's why we got the name from. Is like man and zone coverage. You would get better at that from watching film and stuff like that. So it's awareness kind of attribute.
Nice.
Yeah, and that goes for a lot.
I see Chrome saying he's going to be at all the commentary games. You know what, man? I'm thinking that we also need to work something out between us, that even on some random premiere day, we go in the chat and put something in there.
We'll work something out.
You can't just be coming to the commentary games.
Yeah, but Chrome is pretty.
Mm.
I know Chrome's always there.
Yeah, I always see Chrome light up on the chat. One step forward, I'd like to just say, man, for the league, man, which I know you guys didn't really make a big deal about it, but I think the prospects should hear this news, is that we unanimously came up with a decision to not allow, no longer allow NFL players who drop into free agency to be higher than our previous free agency, which is going to include the rookies now, And so, should you land in the free agency, you won't be buried by NFL stars or ex-NFL stars who had random guys. And I I know it was like something small that we came up with. It was a quick decision, but first of all, it took us nothing to get rid of those guys out of free agency, and at the same time, I think it's going to open up a wave of opportunities for guys who go undrafted to actually be in the, be in the free agency and not be buried, man. So I thought that was a big, a small step forward, man, for a larger cause here in the RFL, man, as far as trying to get guys into the league a lot faster, man. And on teams, So.
And another thing is, it just sucks. It's unfortunate that this was going on for about every single year, other than season 1. Yeah, so every single year, and it just isn't right that due to us having to split the files up, being in 2 separate files. First, we got double the free agency, and on top of that, that means every year we've had absolute studs coming in off of NFL teams that cut them after our season was over into free agency, and coaches and teams were able to add those players onto the team. There's so many players in the RFL in the RFL league right now that came from that process. Some notable names you can rattle off is like Elijah Bentley, who's a couple guys you had, Bill, you had
I got let's see, on offense I got LaMichael Weathersby, Courtney Mitchell, Michael Bronson.
And that's one team, just him alone.
Yeah. I think Heath Fedorowicz was a guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he was an RFL guy.
No, is he a lineman?
Yeah, he's a right tackle.
Yeah, he's been there.
Well, he was a right guard.
Yeah.
Was he an RFL guy?
Yeah, he was an RFL guy. But
okay,
there was quite
Dylan Cutler. Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan Cutler. There was quite
Andre Priester.
Yeah, see, that's all off his team.
Yeah.
There's a ton of guys like that really made it. Even Trey Mason, not Trey Mason. The other one that was for the Lancers, Tyler Agramonte. Yeah, him. Quite a few guys, man. And I'm blanking on, but most of the studs that came into this league, even Dondi Woods for the Sentinels that retired. He only played 2 years in the league. That's because he came in 30-something years old, but his 2 years was like one of the best linebacker years any linebackers had in the league, man. And he came from free agency. So yeah, we've put an end to all of that, man. So you guys don't have to worry about having to compete against random guys that just pop up every year that's going to take your position. We're definitely nerfing free agency heavy from now on, so that you guys can actually be able to get on a team.
I see the JK, but no, I'm not a cheater, Nathan, Jacob, Michael Thomas. It's just the same free agency that everybody else had the opportunity to benefit from. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. So weird now you guys will have a chance, man.
No more shadow rim league players coming.
Yeah, these dudes was coming out the random, man. Like every time the season was over and we had free agency first wave bids, like that was teams was coming up. Like if anybody, even the OGs of the RFL would remember when the NRC first got added in expansion for season 2, where those teams were at. There wasn't a team that was at 80 overall. It was all low 70s. Even the Crusaders, I believe, was a whole 69 overall. These teams in the NRC specifically were pretty much built off of that. And there was teams in the ARC that got even tougher too, even though they was already tough. They came in more prepared, because they had better teams at the time. But you can see how that built up these teams, and now that's why it's so hard to land on a roster, because there's so many guys that came from that process that were still young, or guys who were old, but their overall was so high that even with regression, they're still staying there for a couple years. So that was a great addition, man. But for more on the Relobuck program, we pretty much explained most of that. We will get the rest of that out to you guys on the website so you guys can read that and break it down from there. So, yeah, make sure you guys look out for that. It's going to be starting up January 1st. So get ready, man. As for the next segment, man, the logos. You got something to say before we get into the logos?
I was just going to Paid Gang has a question. But we'll probably be, I'm assuming we're still doing the Q&A, depending on how late we get here. But, I mean, you can always put it in the chat, and if we get a chance to get to it, we'll get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much just our opinions on the logos, man. I forgot to ask C Beazle because Beazle was supposed to jump in and
He said he's available if we want him to jump in.
Okay, check see if he's
But
available.
that was like an hour ago, because I mean we've been really late, but that might have worked out for him. So
Yeah.
I don't know, Beazle, if you're still out there, if you feel like jumping in here,
Yeah, Beazle, if you're here. Okay, is he in here?
I think so. Somebody just came in here.
Oh, here we go. So we got Beazle himself, man. Instead of us just giving our opinions on it, we're gonna have the designer himself break down his mindset on how he came up with these logos, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Take it away, man. What do you say, Rob?
Mix is throwing the shoe at the podium right now, guys. I just want you to know that. Throwing his shoe.
Throwing his shoe. Yeah, so go ahead. So the Austin Desperados, man, what made you come up with this design here, man?
Yeah, man. So with the Austin Desperados, that was mostly like, give me 1 second.
Okay. At least we got Beazle here.
I'm hearing myself talk.
Oh, okay. You probably got a little Are you on the phone?
He's probably on the phone.
Yeah. I got to get the high quality versions of these.
Well,
some of these.
If he's been watching the podcast, he's gonna want to make sure he muted that.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone with the volume down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's do it, man. So, all right, what were you asking me?
I was saying, so what led to you coming up with this design here for the Desperados?
Yeah, man. So the Desperados, it was really Buccaneers kind of inspired. So, I mean, you can see the logo that we had already. It had the bandit shown and whatnot, but I thought it'd be cool to put a skull in there, kind of give it that Buccaneers kind of vibe, like I said. Mm-hmm. Throw a cowboy hat on him, make the bandana kind of tore up a little bit. That's where we ended up at.
Yeah, this great logo right here. One of the community's favorites. Definitely one of mine as well, too. Great design. That was unique from the other one. I think very much improved, man. A lot of guys, I know, looking forward for that merch. The next logo that release, here you go, Rob. It was Cougars, man. We were excited when you made this, man. So what came about with this design?
Well, let's what do you think of it, Rob?
Oh,
I want to hear your thoughts on it for sure.
Terrible, man. I can't stand it, man. Oh. Oh no, man! I when I saw it, man, I said, "Hey, man, that's wavy right there." I see it. I'm on it. I've already seen what it looks like on a uniform, man. So people like half these uniforms, man. Y'all don't even know how they really look until you see them on the helmet, man. Like this right here, this is tough, and it's gonna be even tougher when you see it with those custom unis, man. So yeah, I loved it, man. I didn't have no problem with it. I felt it speaks. I like how the Cougar is proud, man. His head is high. He's looking toward the sky. I like the sleekness of it. I like the edges, the curves around the neck. Someone said, oh, the neck looks a little bit too much or whatever. Nah, man. Cougars have a fierce growl, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like to me, it's like iron lung, strong lung, man. You know what I mean? So I like it, man. So that's how I felt.
And man, this one was this one kind of has an alternative to it, alternative logo. One with the neck, one without the neck. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like both of them really work. I know I told some people, you got to have them in the right spot. You know what I'm saying? So, with the neck, it can work here. Without the neck, it can work there. And I think that's what kind of makes this logo cool, because they both work. Mm-hmm. And as you just said, like on the uniforms, they look nice. So you definitely can't beat it when they look nice. Them Cougar furs, baby.
And even the Cougars logo to begin with, I thought was pretty good. I think this just stepped that up to a whole nother level, man. This was a great design. One of my favorites personally, man. I remember when Rob was thinking like, man, what do you think Bees was going to come up with, man, for the Cougars? You think he's going to come up with something sweet? And you dropped this, man. We was just like, oh, man, that's it right there. Yeah,
merch coming soon.
Yeah,
yeah, no doubt.
All right, so the other one, the Condors. Now, we get a little bit of backlash about this on the bird not actually looking like a condor. So what made you come up with this design? I honestly feel like I don't care if it looks like a condor or not. This is fire. But how did this come about?
Man, we made the one at first, the rough draft, that looked very much like a condor. That baby was a vulture for real. But you know what I'm saying, it felt off. You know, something about it wasn't quite vibing right. And so I just got to thinking about it. You know, to use a vulture in a logo, I looked up, you know, people who had made logos with vultures, and a lot of them look really cool. But, you know, man, I want to be a little different with it. And so this is what I came up with. And, of course, like you said, it doesn't look anything like a vulture, but it's a bird. I feel like it works. What do y'all think?
Yeah, like, let's be honest. Like, a condor just looks stupid.
Those some ugly birds, man.
It does. It's like, there's no other way to put it. It just looks dumb. Like, we just took the condors and like they got purple and silver. Like, that's like a modern, like a fancy look, and we're gonna put some bald bird on the side of it with a stupid necklace. Like, what?
Hey, you had the fur around my boy though.
The original man was crazy. He had to do the little mink coat on him.
Toucan Sam out here. Hey, but look, man. Look. First of all, if y'all, the sweetest helmet in the game, thanks to my boy Justin Jones, is the Shut F7. Imagine this on the Shut F7. I'm gonna leave it at that, bro.
Fire.
This looks sweet.
The uniforms to this is ridiculous.
Yes. The Condors uniforms as a whole are nice. The helmets though, you can't beat that.
Not all, man. Great design there. We don't care if it doesn't look like a condor. It's the Condors.
And before we continue on with this, everybody talking about, you know, it looks like the Falcons, it looks like the Cardinals, looks like the Eagles. It's a bird. A bird looks like a bird.
Darius is not here to defend that, but I don't even care. All right, you were reaching so hard in that Discord for that, man. You were reaching like Stretch Armstrong reaching. Okay,
Mr.
It did
Incredible.
not look anything like the Cardinals or the Falcons.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who it was. Somebody said, I think it was a Thunderbirds logo, and I want to say it was Chris Paul. Said it looked like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Was it Chris? I think it might have been Chris.
CP said that.
CP, what are you doing, man?
Look, he got names.
That was last week.
He got names, man.
Hey, I've been taking notes. I've been taking notes on y'all.
He said it wasn't him.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Are you sure that wasn't Darius? Because Darius likes to be. He comes up under there with the thinking emoji and a logo underneath every time we post one.
Right.
He goes, quit thinking.
Quite a few guys, man.
You know what I mean? We ain't here to think.
All right, so the next design you had here was for the Chicago Tigers, man. Really like this design. Nice, edgy and fierce look. What made you come up with this look? I seen the dude said this looks great on some Frosted Flakes. Hey, it wasn't me, man. That's what they put in the comments. But like,
Wow.
Yeah, I seen that.
Not Tony. Hit him with Tony.
Hit him with the Tony, man.
It does look like Tony a little bit.
Tony the Tiger.
Like if Tony was going around hitting fools in the knee with a bat. This would be him.
This is like Tony the the Tiger mixed with Tiny off Crash Bash.
Tony the Tiger got Tommy punched right before somebody tried to say great.
This is hard though. I'd still think this is a really hard uniform. Logo, man.
Hey, uniforms are nice too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But
Unis is crazy.
you know, this one, we had came up with a rough draft before this one as well. This is one of those ones, and I remember the first one. You know, it was okay. It wasn't quite as fierce, but this one, you know, when I came up with this one, it's got a lot more sharper edges on it. You know, to kind of represent the stripes and the fangs, and all those things tie in together, and you know, it just gives it a sharp, kind of ferocious look, makes it look a little more fierce. And so, you know, I think that's where a tiger should be, you know?
Yeah, I remember the last one. I mean, it was good. It was like, it almost looked like it had a smirk or something. And we just like, man, this looks like a hyena or something.
I went back and looked at it the other day, and his eyes were like beady.
Yeah.
Almost.
And he didn't have any
He
pupils
looked kind
either.
of like dead.
Yeah, this is much better design, man. You know, and just a great design. I still can't wait till guys see the uniforms for most of these designs, man. But great logo.
Y'all just don't know, bro. Y'all just don't know.
Oh,
I see guys.
For these though.
Oh yeah, definitely. I see guys trying to throw shade too, talking about the logos and stuff, but being generic or whatever. Wait till you see those uniforms, man. That's all I gotta say.
Throw shade all you want. Wait till you see them
Yeah, I
logo.
ain't even looking at the chat. Let's see. Let me get
Them
my
fields.
list out.
You said
Yeah,
you,
you guys know now. Beazle keeps notes.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
watching your guys' comments.
Oh yeah, I keep
He
notes.
might not comment in the Discord about it, but he's
Hey.
watching.
No, hey, I ain't got to because a lot of these people saying corny whatever, they done hit me up. They want a graphic.
Ooh.
Bell to him.
It's too
Talk
easy.
heavy, bees. But yeah, so we got
On these necks.
so we got okay, next logo we got here. Now, I've seen the community talk about this. I like this Diablos logo here. I think it was way better than the original. Some guys said that. I think the other, even though this, to an extent looks a little cartoony, yeah, definitely looks like the boar off of Dragon Ball Z. I know a couple guys were talking about that. But this guy, I said this guy, I'm calling him a whole person. I'm personifying this thing. But I thought it was a really good logo, man. And I think, didn't you have a design before this with the demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely had one, and it was a lot more similar to the original one, where it was kind of like a profile, side of the face.
Yeah.
And I liked it at first, Of course, y'all gonna keep it 100 with me, but y'all shot it down, told me y'all didn't really like it, but you know what? Look what we came up with though.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? So I think this one, it's got a cocky feel to it. It's arrogant, you know what I'm saying? Which, a football team should be somewhat arrogant about themselves. Got the smirk going on, the eyebrows raised. Because, if you take that away, if you lower the eyebrow back down, make it a regular small, he just looks creepy probably, to be honest.
Yeah, I see some people talking about... you still going? Okay.
I think the expression he has, it is what makes this logo so great.
Yeah, I actually really like this logo. Here for the Prime. I seen guys talking about the alternate, like the alternate should be the thing, but I believe, I don't want to talk on it, but I still feel like this is definitely a good primary logo. We'll see. I don't know. I think we should still keep with it. We'll see what's going on. I've seen a lot of people having that. But speaking of the alternate logo, here was the alternate logo. You went with the trident look, and this was dope too. This is what most of the community really liked the most for a primary instead of an alternate. What led to this here?
Yeah, so I think I came up with this one before I came up with the logo you just showed, and I was on board with this. But, we wanted to keep, the face in it, keep it somewhat similar to what it already was. And so, of course, that's what we did. But with this, pitchfork logo, it's not going to be the last time you see it. It's an alternative logo for a reason. I'm not going to say, where it's going to be used or how it's going to be used, but we wouldn't keep it as an alternative logo if we didn't have plans to use it.
Yeah.
So it'll show up. We just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, you guys got anything to say about this logo and everything?
Should be the main.
I personally like this better than the other one. I don't mind the other one for maybe like merch, but maybe like sweatshirts or something. But I think like this would look better on a helmet than the other one would.
That's how I feel. I even think that the pitchfork or it kind of looks like a D as well. But that's just me, imagining this right now. But yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the other logo reveal, the Crusaders. So
that's
definitely
gonna bother me until I can find where the D comes from.
It's from the curve of the pitchfork. I think if it was reversed,
that's what you're talking. Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, the curve. It kind of. I know it's kind of backwards, but to me, it just makes sense. It just makes sense to be the main one. You know what I mean? Gotta have a little imagination, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we don't even got imagination with logos, Rob.
Yeah, so the Crusaders logo, man. So what's up with this one? I like it. I love this one.
Yeah. So this one actually, Jason Moore, he's Jason Henderson in the league. He actually plays for Bill. I seen he was up and coming. He wanted to get into graphic design. So I said, hey, you know what? I was like, if you build a concept for this team, then I'll go ahead and clean it up, kind of tell you what I did, show you what I did and whatnot, so you can kind of learn from it. And so he came up with the concept of it with the shield and then the two swords. And then, of course, I went and looked at the old Crusaders logo, and so there's a lot of similarities in the actual sword itself that was in the original Crusaders logo.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he like I said, came up with the concept, and I kind of took it, 10 steps further, and this is where we ended up. And I think this is honestly one of the most, I'm not going to say thought out, but I want to say I think this is the most collaborated, just because me and Jason talked about it so much and what we wanted it to be. And I mean, it turned out great. So I shout out to Jason for the help on this one.
Yeah, great logo right there, man. Next logo, huh?
I was gonna say, could you go back to the pitchfork for a second? But it's all good.
Okay.
So the way I'm seeing this D, guys, is the 3 points up here at the top. I'm starting from the top where the sharp parts are, and I'm taking this and going all the way back to where the flame is. So that kind of looks like a D to me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my the way I was looking at it. I see guys saying, "Hey, that's an E. That's an E." Nah, not an E.
So the Aviators here, man. This is a different look from the Aviators. The Aviators old logo wasn't bad and everything, but I just felt like it was pretty much like a Air Force badge, just about. But this here, we went whole jet mode just about with this one, pure aviation, and I thought this was a great different look for the Aviators, man. What led to this?
Yeah, man. So like you said, the Aviators logo now, it feels like almost like an Air Force badge, something like that. And so that's cool. I think their logo was cool. I remember back when I was probably 16. Probably more recently than that. But I would go, before I knew about the RFL, I would go on Madden myself and relocate my team, and every time it was the Aviators because I liked their logo. And so this one was a little more difficult, but I knew what I wanted to do with it. But since I already liked their logo, to come up with something that I think would top that is always going to be difficult. But, with Aviators, aviation, I can think of an airplane. And so, that's exactly what it is, an airplane. And when we dropped the Thunderbird logo, everybody was saying it should have been a plane, but way before this one was dropped.
Yeah.
And it took everything in me to hold back to say something like, "Oh, y'all just wait," because if you say that, then who else than the Aviators? You know what I'm saying? But I think this one was really obvious what it could have been, what it should have been, and so I just took the obvious route, and here it is.
And obviously, I'm gonna say a better logo, and like you said, the other logo was a pretty great logo too. I always liked the Aviators original, but this definitely just blew that out the water. And like I said, just made me think of the other one as just like a Air Force badge at that point.
I gotta say that the old logo for the Aviators, while I liked the logo, I love the look, I think it looked cool. To me, it didn't make any sense with the team name, because I didn't know if they were trying to go for there's 3 or 4 planes all flying on top of each other here, and this is the shape it looks like in the shadows, or we're talking about a really badass bird or something. I didn't understand the concept of the logo, because it was just almost looks like a sharp leaf. But I mean, I liked it, it looked cool, but this fits the team better. I really like this one.
Yeah, and as for that, I got the concept of it because it's similar to an Air Force ranking badge, if you've seen one before. So that's what they tried to, I think, go with that. So that's why I brought up the badge thing. But yeah, this one definitely tops that one. All right.
Yeah, I think they reached a little bit originally. Logo was cool, like Bill said, but I think they kind of reached on the concept of it.
I thought you said somebody was reaching in the chat trying to say it was something else. That's why I chuckled for a little bit.
Oh, no. Whoever made the Aviators logo reached just a little bit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things taking flight, man, this Voyagers one was fire. I liked it. I really liked this one so much because you could definitely tell this came from the Voyagers. It's pretty much the same, but it was just like a huge upgrade. And you incorporated a rocket, a ship taking off and things in the middle of it. And man, what was your thought process, when you went about making this?
Yeah, man. So the the rocket was a complete accident when I was making this. So what I did was obviously I took their logo into Illustrator and I was just playing around with it, seeing what I could do to recreate it. And I had a rocket, I made a rocket, and I just kind of threw it to the side. And when I threw it to the side, it went on top of the Voyagers logo that was already there. And I didn't mean to throw it on there. I just kind of moved it out of the way to get it out of the way.
Nice.
And that's where it ended up. And so I was like, that looks kind of cool. And so I played around with it, and so here it is. Now we got a rocket in the V. And then, of course, I took the orbit and I simplified it a little bit more because I understand, like, with the original logo, they wanted to kind of hit on, the astronaut kind of vibe, the orbit around the V.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted, in my version of it, I wanted the rocket to stand out more. And so I took down the ring, took that down a little bit.
Yeah, that's a fire accidental design right there, man. It's definitely a great logo. Just a huge improvement for this one for sure. And I think this is the last logo, if I'm not. Yep, the recently released Orlando Sentinels, man. And this was pure fire. I liked it since you dropped it, man. It definitely has amplified that Sentinels look to look even more just cool. Like it just looked like this is it for the Sentinels, man. I really like the way this looked.
Yeah, so with this one, this is the first one I made. This is how this all started. And I just was bored one evening. This is when I was still in school also. So I was just bored one evening. I didn't have no homework to do, nothing really going on. And so I just made this Senate, saying that it ignited a fire, I guess you could say. But the cool thing about this one that I don't think a lot of people notice, and it's, if you look, so I don't know what to call it, but Rob, what do you call that on top of his head? What's that called?
You said on top of his head?
Yeah, gotta be called something.
I would say
helmet?
mane, but I don't think.
Yeah,
I think
on
that's
top,
for horses.
the little sharp knife on top of his head.
Mm-hmm.
The sharp knife on the on top of his head?
Yeah, the blade looking
Yeah,
thing on top.
whatever.
The thing that looks like the big mohawk.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that's called, man. That's just
Well,
the headdress, I guess you could call it.
yeah. So if you look at the top of the headdress, if you look at the very back, and if you follow it all the way up, and then do a diagonal line, and then down to the left side, it makes an S in the logo.
I see it.
Can y'all see that? I don't know if you can see that or not.
I see that. Yeah. So the back of the helmet goes to the jaw area, out the chin for the S.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
and
dope.
It makes an S that's really
Never peeped
really
that. That's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes it really subliminal. You don't really notice it. You know what I'm saying? Until now that you heard it though, that's all you can see. Like every time I look at this logo, that's all I can see. Is that
Okay,
S.
hold on. I'm still trying to.
So,
am I not looking right?
Go to the back of where the helmet is, all the way to the back tip. Now follow the silver all the way up to the front of the helmet.
Holy crap!
Yeah, go to the jaw and then out to the chin. That's an S.
I just saw that. Wow.
From the back of the helmet,
Yeah, man, you should have.
across the gray the gray part
so
on
the
top
gray
of the
part so the back bottom of the helmet, you go up to the top point of the helmet, and then you look from there to the jaw of the helmet, and then you finish the S out through the chin.
Just use the gray. Don't look at the white at all. Just the gray.
the top part, the top gray, right?
Think about think about the letter S. So, and then look at the start of the top of where you would start making the letter S is lower where the back of that helmet is. So try to follow the gray that makes an S.
Try to follow the gray.
Smitty, we got this on your computer, bro. Just hover your
Oh,
mouse
yeah.
over that.
Oh, I'm tripping.
So you can
check
see
out.
So you see this?
I just sent you something.
It's right here, Rob. You see it?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. All right. Oh, yeah. I see
Forgot that y'all could see my.
Okay.
They can't see the mouse, but you got
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I just sent you a message, Smitty, that outlines the S. so people can see it if you want to pull it up.
Okay, let me see.
That's cool. I didn't even think about
So
that.
nobody
But I can see
missing out.
that. Yeah.
Let me try to download this real fast.
Gotcha.
Chris
It's
Williams.
one of them little things.
Let me see. Download. Just hit save. Actually, I might be able to.
While we wait for this paid gang, I know you've been asking this question, and I've seen it. It's not been the right time, but I'll answer it quickly. There really is no way for you as a player to be able to help out the team with free agency without them having a coach. That's if there's somebody that is felt needed on the team, Smitty will make that call for the computer teams. He does sign free agents when needed for the computer teams, but outside of that, man, it's just sort of an L at this point for the free agency. So sorry, that's not the answer you were looking for.
Who's paid gang?
That's
That's
Tavion Hall.
Oh, it's Tavion Hall.
Yeah. So see, this is the. Oh man, I'm moving all the other photos here.
What are you doing?
Wow. Which one is the Sentinels?
Yeah, man, that's a low quality version of it. I literally just screenshot this straight from the stream.
Yeah, move the other one first, man.
Yeah, you can see where the S is working in there.
You gotta move the other one first, brother.
Okay.
Yo, and this is something too that I want to make sure it gets known, because like I know that I've noticed it. I know Rob and Smitty noticed it, but something that goes, I think, a little unappreciated is, man, these fonts were picked really well, man.
Yeah.
Like
fonts
they
are fire.
like this. I can't picture now another font for the Sentinels. I feel the same about the font that I have for my team, and I just think that you did a good job with that as well, man, because the fonts really seem to fit the team well.
Yeah. Like they say in the chat, man.
Font search was tough, because you can't just like search Sentinel font. So you got to do some searching and see what you think looks best. And so I kind of got lucky on those that I found them pretty quick.
Yeah, these was definitely some heat, man. Like I was saying about the chat, man. You didn't miss on anything, man. These logos right now, currently, and the ones that's about to drop, make sure you guys vote on that. Have all been fire, man. So just great job, man. Great work as always.
I appreciate it. Appreciate all the support.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We appreciate you. Everything that you've brought to this league too, man. It definitely has helped us push in the right direction we've wanted to go to, man. So big shout out to you. Big shout out to the front staff. I'm giving it to the whole front staff right now that's here, even on the podcast with me. This league definitely came a long way, thanks to the help of you guys. So, I may have started up and grinded my butt off and everything to at least get some notoriety, but you guys definitely helped take that to the next level, and I can't appreciate you guys enough. Just want to make sure to put that out there, man. These guys, this is why I put a lot of trust in these dudes. When dudes start talking crazy and everything in chat, chill out, because at the end of the day, they know what they talking about. Don't question too much of, they're ruling on things. And sometimes dudes get mad. You got to understand the position of power in the RFL. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to talk too much on that, but guys know who they are and everything. Just chill out. Just know that these guys, they're the real deal. They're not shady. They wouldn't be here if they were. Everything, their work ethic is second to none. I just appreciate having these guys with me on the staff, man. I figured always figured I was going to be the guy all by myself to get this done. I'm just excited that I was able to look past it and say, I'm going to let these guys help me, and it was the best decision I made, man. I just want to appreciate y'all for that here live, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Salud, man. Salud.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me cry. Start tearing up.
I love you.
Here go to Barney.
Yeah, play the Barney thing to it.
Boy, oh boy.
Okay, so I think this is the last thing that we had to get. Okay, I honestly don't feel like we got the time to go over the ARC thing. I feel like we doing already in depth with the the divisions and everything, who we felt was going to place where and everything. Yeah. But what I will do is at least show you guys, the RFL website. You guys got to check out these articles, man. My guy Noah be killing it. You got Reed, who's been recently posting, and he's been doing an excellent job with his breakdowns. Bill's always posting. You can see the articles here. Got good views on it right now. We really want to try to get people gravitating towards learning more and just being on the RFL website a lot more too. Especially if you're not part of the Discord. This is where you really want to get all your information from. But you see, we're really getting better at posting up a lot of articles that can get you more informed on the league. I really recommend that you guys read these articles that are based on the teams, talking about the teams, where they feel that they're placed, their current situation. It will really give you a great idea before the season starts tomorrow on where these guys, where teams are. And then when you get to see them play, then you can be like, oh, man, now I see what they were talking about. Now I see, why he said that in that article. And you know what, these guys are really like that. Or I'm going to follow this team because I like the storyline or something that's going on with it. So if you really want to get up to date on the RFL, learning more about the RFL, man, make sure you watch games, of course. But check out these articles, man. These guys spend great time coming up with because, these go into detail, great detail. See the NRC Power Rankings. We got an ARC Power Rankings. You got divisional breakdowns here from Reed. Got the top 50. This was from Mitch and Forbes that we were talking about. Their top 50 opinions on guys who they felt was like top of the RFL College Series and things like that. Quarterback talk. Look, other divisions. This is all great information here if you want to learn about the league, man.
Yeah, now this is one thing too, Lan, is like just sort of piggyback off what you said. Like I know a couple of guys the other day in the chat were saying like they want to learn more about the league to be able to have more in-depth conversations with us in the Discord or here in the podcast, man. Like the stuff that Noah put out about the power rankings is a great place to start. And another one to really look at is Jacob Reed's stuff, man. Like I started, he submitted a project to me about his own division like a month or so ago. I got the idea to maybe start one of my own for my division, and then he started working on another project for the different division, which I believe was the West. And I just told him straight, I said, man, I love what you're doing with this. He goes into so much detail on this, especially considering that he is still a newer coach essentially in the league. For some of the guys that have been here, man, if you're looking to learn about where these teams are currently stacked and what direction they might be heading, between the power rankings that Noah put out and this in-depth division layout about the individual teams in each division that Reed is working on, which I know he says he's still working on, hopefully getting one out for each division. We're going to try our best to get one out regardless for each division, just because it's good to have it out there. This is how you get your foot in the door with understanding the RFL. Because let me be the first to tell you, it takes a long time, but the league gets that much more fun when you know what the heck is going on. So, man, go out there and read it. Just sit on the website and look through everything, because you will learn stuff and you will start picking up on stuff during streams, even if you think you won't. You will.
Yeah, excellent work, man. Look at this, even the picture work and everything. He went into detail, and even Rob, like Rob was even talking about, like, man, he did a great job. Talking about his Cougars, man, broke them down.
I enjoyed reading everything that he wrote, man. Like I even. As I had even the first article, I hadn't seen the first one all the way through, so I said, "Man, let me go back and read that one, man." You know what I'm saying? That was really, really good, man. So if he continues to do those, I'm definitely going to be reading those, man. So
yeah, just great work, man. And we were going to go down, but of course, this has been a pretty lengthy podcast. It ran over time due to the technical difficulties we had and everything like that. But once again, go to our website, relocationfootballleague.com, and learn about the league through these articles, man. And of course, watching games, watch old games, learn about players. You'll definitely learn more, I think, about players when more articles come through, man. But just an excellent job by the community, excellent job by the guys who've been working on the staff, writing these articles. Bill's been managing the website along with Beazle, Rob, even keying in on some things, man. I think that this is this is definitely a great spot for you guys to learn about the RFL. We even got articles back from the first college series. Look at this. It says July 8th. I think that's July 8th, 2019, man, here with Drew Brewer.
Oh, I remember that. That's a Brewer poster.
The Brewer
I remember poster. That.
Fire.
That was the birth of the bear right there.
The bear. I made that one.
I
remember that. That was after the first game when he just took over.
Yep.
Yeah, he went crazy.
Now he's up there with those with Jacob Reed.
10 tackles, 3 sacks in his first game against Oklahoma.
Crazy.
Wow.
I mean, these things kind of stem back. I'm trying to go to the oldest art. We got a lot of articles, man. You want to look at last season's stuff, man? Go ahead and look at it, man.
For guys who are new to the site, there is another Smitty, if you go to the top where the stuff runs across the top of the header, there's actually a whole nother spot where we have a whole bunch of articles under more. If you go under more, there's a spot that just says articles, and that was
see
before
it here on this one.
What's that?
Yeah, it's not showing up here. Is it not published?
Where the heck did I put it? I know it's under here somewhere. I'll have to see where it is. But we even have stuff going back to like 2-3 years ago. I'll check. Maybe I had it hidden on here, but it is still something cool that we have on there. We have a whole bunch of other articles going back to a couple seasons ago. I'll take a look at that tonight. I might have had it hidden for some reason or another, but it's separate from the blog. We didn't always use the blog to do that. So that's something else you guys could check out. That's like a whole season's worth of game recaps and things like that.
Yeah, and I see dudes talking about forum. Do we have that, right?
We have a forum up, just nobody ever uses it, man.
Yeah. That's why we're just trying to get some more traffic going here. A lot of guys go to the website, to apply and things like that. But we definitely do get a lot of people that go to the website, check it out. But this could really be a really good source for you guys to learn about the league, man.
And you can, when you join as a member, you have access to the forum. You can comment on the articles that we put out there. So I mean, you can do there is some interactive features on the website. It's not just going there to learn or to read stuff. So yeah, I mean, take advantage of it.
Yeah, man. Join the RFL community. You got to contact us here. Here goes the forum.
Yeah. If you click on it, it'll show you can make you can talk about things. You can make your own post that you want to talk about with other people.
Yeah, and as you can see, just
look at that. Hey, we got Malcolm Thompson in there right now. He made a post right there.
Yeah, see this.
We got people who make posts.
Yeah, see, that's pretty good, man. I think people need to hop in these, get this almost like Operation Sports, maybe. But
we can.
Yeah, we can, man. Start learning. Yeah, that'd be dope. So yeah, that's pretty much everything we had to cover. It's already been a lengthy podcast. If you guys see any important questions or something that you've seen that you wanted to answer at this point, guys, you can pull that up now. But if there's nothing, then we can close out this podcast here. No, it's been a lengthy one, but yeah.
I'm not really. Rajir, this is the second time I've seen the question. I really don't know what you're talking about. When can we get a RFL coloring book? I don't know. What are you talking about, man? I don't know if you legitimately want a coloring book or if you're like, I don't know.
I think he's definitely joking because he's got I want to be a kid again with the laughing emoji.
I guess so.
We can come up with.
Yeah.
Sell him a Dollar General.
Coloring book.
Dollar
General. If you really wanted one.
Yeah.
We could sell them.
Yeah, I tell you some fire things that's coming too, man. Is like with the merch, bro. Like if you, because Beazle said he could. You already know he's got some great designs. Imagine Beazle cooking you up a fire poster to hang up in your wall. Heat.
That's one thing that I wish that we should look into as well, man. I would
definitely get posters. First one I'm getting is Dre.
Oh my God. That's all the time we got.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope.
Just a quick comment to we got 43 people still in here, even though we started an hour late without any head time warning because we had some unnecessary difficulties. And now we're here. It's almost 11 o'clock my time, midnight Eastern time, and we still got 42 strong in here. So shout out to the chat for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. RFL community just getting stronger and stronger and bigger every day, man. Let's just keep it up. Take this thing to the next level. You guys see the potential. Let's go ahead and blow this up, man. The next big esports.
All right. What is Jay's question? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Jay. I saw this before and I meant to answer it and we got off subject. You can't buy one package for two different players. Like you have if you buy a package with the Relobucks, that is for one of your specific players. You can't say I'm buying the tier 3 package and then splitting it up between Jay Morris and Michael Pratt. Like you can't do that. It's got to be either one or the other.
Are we gonna have them declare players, Smitty?
Yeah,
No.
I think we need to do that too, man.
What in terms of using their Relobucks?
No, as far as you know how guys are different personas, man. You know what I mean? I guess
The
never
thing
mind.
is, it's just hard to do that. It's
Yeah.
it kind of is hard to do that, but I do feel like I think we already said something about it where we would have guys have to commit to a certain player so that he gets in that team's locker room.
Yeah, that's.
something like
Can't
that.
go in other locker rooms.
I know I'm like one of the big coach, like one of the coaches on that, man. I love my Cougars. Y'all know I love y'all, man. Well, bro, I just kind of want a team full of Cougars, and they just Cougars, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want them like rooting for other teams. You know what I mean? And I know it's really Stalin of me, and you know what I mean, and Hitler of me. But it is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of just want that kind of culture with the Cougars. You know. But I don't know. I hope that's something we can develop, man, going on down the line.
Yeah, we can at least do that for the locker room.
Well, I don't even want to. I'm actually to the point where I don't even want to draft guys who are like, you know what I mean, on multiple teams. You know what I'm saying? Like I just take the L, but I don't know. It is what it is. We'll figure it out.
You about to say
I
something?
don't
Rob?
understand.
I mean,
I don't
Bill.
understand what. Okay, so he's asking: is the 30 attributes cap for just one player or both of them together? It's for a player.
It's for whatever play. Like once you've already boosted one player 30, he can't get boosted anymore. If you have two players and you can boost, I doubt you'll get that much Relobucks though. But you can boost. Both of them have a cap of a max of 30, but you definitely won't be able to max out both of them in a year. Because that's a big reason on why we have these things cost as much as they do. So that it's not easy for you to boost unless you're really dedicated to the league, and even then it's not easy, but it's obtainable.
Yeah. Pie Man, I'm assuming you must be new in the checks. I've been seeing you ask a couple of questions. So, yeah, the RFL starts tomorrow, 6 p.m. 7 p.m. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern time. First game, and then yes, there's an RFL draft. We have a draft every year after our college series, which just wrapped up this past week. You can find all that stuff out on the YouTube channel here or on the website for a little bit more info.
Yeah, we're looking to flip around the draft times too. So this will be the last time that we have our draft in the middle of the year in July, and so that's why. This upcoming season, and this upcoming college series season alone, you'll actually be able to play 2 years in college. So you don't want to miss out on that opportunity if you're into that. After that, though, it'll only be one and dones. So unless we get an NCAA game or something crazy like that, then maybe we could work something out. But until then, if we're still on mods with this, it's one and done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
pretty much the majority of everything that's been asked.
all right then. Well, in that case, man, really enjoyed this podcast. Know it's late and everything, but I feel like this was a great podcast to start out. We can officially say it. Season 6 is here.
Yes.
Tomorrow starts the season, man. I can't wait for those games. Make sure you guys show it. Let's get some record numbers going for tomorrow, man. Let's boost the hype for this game. You already know we've boosted enough with the trailer and everything, and we're still going to keep boosting it, man. So make sure you come through. Make sure you support prospects. Make sure you watch teams. Just know and get an understanding so that you can get an idea maybe who might draft you. And now that we're having it where there's no scouting, hey, start working on that highlight tape. Start looking at teams to try to impress. And see how things turn out, man. Big shout out to the RFL community. It's your boy Smitty, RFL commissioner and play-by-play commentator, along with Bill, Rob. We even have Beazle closing it out with us. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.